Well, good evening. How is everyone doing this fine Tuesday night? I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Lovely to see so many of you guys already in. I see that we've got Levi, RJ, Adam and Tatsugiri in right nice and early. Lovely to see you guys. DM Bassist is back. And I believe, did you get an answer to your question on the Discord, DM Bassist? I can't remember the name of the handheld consoles you were asking about. Let me just have a look here. Anburnix. The DM Bassist was asking whether anyone's tried any of the Anburnix handheld consoles. So if anyone in chat has, do let us know. Be helpful. That'd be ace. So we also have Hung Min in. We've got Reese in. We've got, let me catch up with all this. FMG&G is in. Good evening, FMG&G. Flux is in. We have DeGamer. DeGamer is in over on YouTube. Oi, oi, Savaloys, he shouts. Oi, oi, Savaloy, indeed. I hope you're doing well. So we've had a little bit of a chat already this evening about the glorious place that is Sweden. Sweden, as I was saying in chat, truly beautiful people everywhere. I've only been in Sweden for probably at most it was about 3 hours, and 2 hours of that was on a bus getting over to a ferry terminal. And every single person I saw was stunning, absolutely gorgeous. Men, women, everyone. Even the old people were beautiful. That's not to suggest that old people can't be beautiful, but back then I would have been in my late 20s, and I'm not one for grannies. I'll be honest. I mean, my proclivities did not extend to those above, say, 60 at the time. Nowadays, beggars can't be choosers, so anything's game. We've gone off. So we've gone a little off track already. That's a good way to start. So I'd also like to say a huge thank you since I last streamed on Sunday. I doubt you're in the chat right now, but if you are, a massive thank you to Spencer the Third, J Teller 1312, Dido Desai, Kadsui 79, Necrosis, all for following. And for FM Boss, who has followed just now. I hope you're doing well. So FM Boss, do let us know who you... Let me start again. If you're comfortable jumping in chat, do let us know who you support, who you're playing with in FM. Love to hear from you. We also have a couple of the games renewed. Words are hard. Words are definitely hard. We have a couple of games that have been activated, which is Guess the Player and Only Collect. So we're going to head into them shortly, and then we'll catch you up to where we are with the save with Mariehamn. We had a pretty torrid times of things on Friday. So let's see. We've got Ekenas in as well. Good evening, guys. He says hello from Athens. Says Jay Teller. So Jay Teller, indeed, perfect. You are indeed in. Lovely to see you. Ekenas, in fact. So Bam Bam says the Pimienta video was excellent, sir. Well done. Truly enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I had so much fun putting that together. I'm really. It's rare that I feel delighted with videos before they release. You're your own worst critic and whatnot. But the Pimienta one, I was so happy with it. It's nice to have something where it didn't feel like too much of a compromise along the way. So let's see. I've got interesting. So it appears that the chat overlay isn't working. Yes, it is. There we go.
The statistics. You tell me, how do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
I know that the sync is a little bit off, but who cares? Thank you so much.
It's not the statistics. It's not the statistics. You tell me, how do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
Thank you so much as well. So Stevie Jackson with the follow and the Prime subscription. Dill 40k, we subscribe for 2 months. You absolute gentleman. In fact, I mean, it's Tuesday, isn't it? So you'll be streaming this evening, will you, Dill? Is it at 10? Well, I was going to say 10 p.m. Obviously, it's not 10 p.m. where you are, but you should most definitely be following Dill if you're not already. A phenomenal streamer, just such a lovely, chilled vibe. Great. Like world building, really follows everything that's going on, which is really quite engaging and also so relaxed as well. So I've already fallen behind with chat. Amina's in. How's your day going? My day is going very well. There is a strong start to the stream because I've already suggested that I am willing to date grannies now. Preferably, actually, if I think about it, those that are a little bit.
It's not the statistics. It's not the statistics. You tell me. How do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
DM Basis, what an absolute gent. Gifting a sub to Flux, the beautiful, the wonderful Flux, the incredible DM Basis. Thank you so much. So, Jay Teller supports Panathinaikos, but in FM you play with Panatolikos. All controversial. How do you feel when you have to play against Panathinaikos? Do you kind of like secretly lose just to make sure you can push them along a little bit in that way? So Hungerman says we need a Moneyball plus Hoofball video, Musterman. I need that for my Portuguese lower league save. You should go back and check out the very first Moneyball clinic. I know it's Wolves are a little bit above the Portuguese lower league level, but not that much. Not that much. So it might be worth a try there. So Bam Bam supports Bohemians in Dublin. Is playing a rebuild with Roma. How's that going? That's a good one. Rich is in. How are you doing, Rich? Yes, so Dill's going to be on in a few hours. I'm pretty certain that UK time it works out about 10 p.m. So probably we'll be wrapping up around that time then. So I think we might know where we're gonna head off to. Bell is in. Bell Procioni, who I've got to make sure that I pronounced it as Procioni and not anything else. I'm doing well. How are you, sir? Guess what? It's not. It's not the statistics. Ray Hudson is such a character, isn't he? Vangelis is in. Good evening, Vangelis. How are you doing? How are you, man? Ray Hudson is a legend, says Hank, indeed. Shall we just call this a just chatting stream now? We should indeed. Just waffling. Just waffling is very, very fair. I'm sorry, I would love to support, but I don't have the age to donate. Not yet my own income. Bell, there is absolutely no obligation whatsoever for anyone to subscribe or donate. Your support is still appreciated.
It's not the statistics. It's not the statistics. You tell me. How do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
Of course, the other situation is that the glorious Adam on the Break FM could gift you a subscription. What a gentleman. What a gentleman. So, Dill says, good shout. I'm a newer fan, so I need to be coached on footy heritage in response to Ray Hudson being mentioned there. Yeah, so he's definitely part of the American coverage. I can't remember which channel, but the completely legal streams that I access often have the dulcet Newcastle tones of Ray Hudson. So Supreme Kwan says I'm 23 minutes late. You're not at all, not at all. So obviously the stream starts up a little bit before, just loading in before we start. We've been going for 8 minutes, and so far we haven't done anything at all, which is very, very typical. I wonder why it takes me so long to get through seasons, eh? So Bam Bam was nearly sacked in season 1, but unbeaten now, 6 into season 3. That's a turnaround. That is a turnaround. Our DM bassist is decrying that he's been beaten to the punch by Adam. Tales of the Tapes is in. He says it's definitely not the statistics too. So, a little word for those guys over on YouTube. The commands that you see somewhere along the bottom every now and then cropping up, should now work on YouTube. Unfortunately, I can't test it because if I use my own account, I know I've got admin privileges, so I know it definitely works. But if you want to get information on the save or on any of the things that are coming up there, that should now, in theory, come up in chat. I say in theory. I'm not 100%. I'm sure it's going to go wrong. So Ray Hudson didn't succeed at Newcastle. He didn't. Almost entire playing career in the now defunct NASL. Indeed. RJ Dang, almost like a pro streamer. This is where people try and it doesn't work. That would be about right for us. Let's head on in. So the first game that was redeemed. That was the word I couldn't remember earlier. Is Guess the Player. So let's head on over. And there we go. Sorry, you guys on Twitch can't see, but Jake has just tested out the save thing and it sent the message. Yes. Hey. I've spent so long on something that should really be quite simple. Right, the first up we have a round of guess the player. So let's explain the rules for those that aren't familiar. I'm sure most of you already are by now. But you're going to see 4 pictures, one after the other, of a snapshot of a player's profile in FM24. This is a player at the beginning of the default game of FM24, right? So they might have moved in real life by now. They might not. They might still be at the same club, but it's going to be what you see when you start a new game. The earlier you guess, the more points you get. The more points you get, the higher up on that lovely leaderboard. Back underneath me now, you are. So there we go. We'll head straight into it then. We have some guesses. Again, for those that don't know, we have some guesses that are occasionally put out before we even start. And this time, DM Basis has pipped ahead of RJ to say DeMarco. Is it Federico DeMarco? It's not Federico DeMarco. It's not Emil Heskey. What a marvellous, marvellous throwback. I'd love it to be Emil Heskey. Can we get him back into playing days? Bel Procione's guessed Palmer. So we're getting the guesses. Right now, we're starting to get the guesses in that have seen that this is a defensive midfielder. A rather good defensive midfielder. 4 stars, could be an anchor, could be a deep line playmaker, could be a halfback. Probably isn't a regista. And so the guesses coming in are Rodri, Declan Rice, Rodri again, Barella. Once again, no DeMarco for me anymore, says RJ. That would be a shame. That would be a shame. So Guido Rodriguez is a guess, a fabulous guess. Benacer, Kevin Toure, Patrick Vieira, Frankie de Jong, Rodri again, de Jong, Onana, Zubamendi, Locatelli, Mainu, Ross, the Boss, Barkley, Ugarte, and Robert Andrick. I'm afraid to say that, unfortunately, so far, we haven't got it right yet. So just a nice, simple player, probably quite elite looking at these attributes here. Look at this player. He's slow. He's very slow, but 18 first touch, 19 teamwork. Exceptional mental stats. So guesses that have come in as well. So Hungdamin says Ugarte. DM Basis says, we said Ugarte and Andrick. Hungdamin went for Douglas Luiz. Rich Son went for Adam Wharton. Hungdamin went in for Boubacar Kamara. We have Polinia. Hank has said that he's old as fuck. Now he is. He is old as fuck. That is true. McKenny. Supreme Kwan has guessed Busquets. RJ's gone for Casemiro, Fabinho, Matic, Chouameni, Fabinho, Casemiro, Hjulmand, Bentancur, Casemiro, Busquets again. Danava's asked me to hydrate. That's probably a good idea. So DM Basis, yes, we have always had attributes in this guessing game. It's just we very rarely get that far down the line before someone's guessed the correct answer. I thought that as we're doing, I can't expect every viewer to be familiar with the attributeless approach. So that's how we do. And we've got some more guesses coming in now. Jorginho, Højbjerg again. Supreme Kwan says joke. What joke have I missed, Kwan? Was you saying that Busquets was a joke? We've got Coke. We've got Coke coming, and then the word party. Now, I'm not suggesting that you have coordinated that between yourselves, Kwan and Hungdamin, but I don't necessarily think that a Coke party is what we should be advocating on stream. Cruz, Jorginho, Kalinoglu, a DM with no aggression. Indeed, a DM with no aggression. And we have actually had the right answer. Now, that's why I've been holding back on this one, because we've got an answer for 3 whole points. And that answer came in originally from Kwan, because it's a star MLS player. That can only mean one thing. It's Messi's friend. It's Sergio Busquets. Marvellous, marvellous work. I think, there's got to be a lot of points. Well, not points, unfortunately. Props to Hank the Tank for identifying early on that the guy was old. Slow, amazing mentals. And then mere moments after, Kwan came in with Busquets. JH Kvez over on YouTube got there as well. I will be checking back the video a little bit later as well, because I know there is a slight delay. So it might be that we'll split the points between you two. Well, not split, so you might both get the points. Let me see whether it came through before it had been guessed by someone else over on the YouTube feed. So Kwan says that passing was a giveaway. It is. I mean, what a sensational player. What a sensational player. RG feels that he's been debated with the 4 stars. Now, would you put Busquets higher or would you put him lower? Because like Busquets is a quality player, but he's very much in the twilight of his career, and he's not quite the player he once was. That lack of pace might be sufficient for the MLS. He's got great reading of the game, but I don't think he'd hold up at say the top level anymore. I was surprised by the play's simple passes trait, says Lukmar No Pants. That's fair. Amin feels that him being 6'2" is a giveaway. It's fair. So Bell, you've got to study tomorrow. I have a maths exam. Well, you should definitely be logging off. I hope the studying goes well. I hope your exam goes well as well. I'm sure you know what you need to know, and just be confident. Best of luck with it. So RJ says he should be lower now, but still 4 stars is low in the MLS. That's fair. For MLS standards, I think 3.5 to 4 stars, says Hank. And he's going to know. He's going to know. So I think that's fair. Right, so let's head on over. We also had an Only Connect redeemed. So let's go over. We'll start strong with two games back to back. And they Only Connect, again, for those that don't know, there's kind of some similarities. You're going to see 4 pictures. These pictures will all be of a footballer, and they all have a common connection. Your job is to work out what that connection is. The earlier you guess, the more points you get. Same kind of deal as before. Now, I won't tell you who the players are unless you guess it correct. So shout it out in the comments who the player is, so that others that maybe don't know will then be informed, and that can kind of help people get there all together. So let's head on in. So Johnny Trotter says 4 stars for Inter Miami, meaning the rest of their squad are rubbish, except an Argentinian. That's perhaps fair. Who's the striker? They've got Bob Taylor. Bob Taylor's not too bad, eh? Bob Taylor and Campagnara. I think I'd struggle. Oh, Jordi Alba. I'd struggle to name any more Inter Miami players if I'm being honest. So Tales of the Tape says he does play short, simple passes most of the times. I think that's fair. I think it's more the idea that when you see the trait play short, simple passes, you feel like that means they never play through balls, which isn't true. So Hank says immediately it's forehead. There is the forehead, and people have got this right immediately. It is indeed Gervinho. Stevie Jackson, DM Basis, Levi, RJ, ACAB, they've all identified that's Gervinho. Flux is saying that is the link Palmer. That's interesting. It is not the link, but that's considering that Gervinho has been in many. Well, actually, were Palmer still in Serie A back then, or was that after they dropped down to Serie B? Because that wouldn't be quite as momentous if they're still in Serie A. Still quite interesting. So FIFA 14 legend, says Kwani, was indeed. Adam asks, is the link players with a worse hairline than mine? Oh, bless him. Oh, bless. I was very, very deliberate in trying to find a picture of Gervinho that didn't necessarily expose that hairline too much. DM Base has gone for their all ASEC Mimosas youth players. Phenomenal guess. Not right, but that would be good. Arsenal flops, goes Hank. All overpowered FIFA cards from Kwan. All FIFA legends from Hung Da Min. RJ's gone for they played in Beveren. Flux says he played with Kulusevski, as far as I recall. Interesting. I didn't know that Kulusevski played at Parma. Or is that another link? That would be a cool one. It's not that, unfortunately. So Gino says he's finally caught a stream. Huge fan, brother. Lovely to have you in, Gino. I hope you're doing well. So A Kappa says they all played in the Far East in the country of Winnie Pooh. So have they all played in China? That is not the link. Participated in 5 editions of country tournaments. That's a good guess from Jake Fairs, or 2 World Cups. It's not that either. Tatsugiri has gone for all have Brazilian sounding names without being Brazilian. That's a link I want to use at some point. So Rich has gone for have they played against North Korea? That's also one I might steal. It's not that, unfortunately, but that would be a fun one to do. Scored against North Korea. He's gone, unfortunately. So Levi, A5H Goodyear has illuminated Stevie Jackson. Stevie Jackson hasn't guessed Udoggy. People have correctly identified it as Udoggy. Stevie Jackson says, have they all got dreadlocks? They don't all have dreadlocks. I mean, they do so far, but we've got 2 more to go. I may have deliberately put the order of the players specifically to bait you with Dreadlock. So I'm glad you fell into my dastardly trap. So we have Gervinho and Udogie so far. So is it fastest Premier League players? It's a good guess. It's not that, unfortunately, but it is a good guess. So Kokuk Smelsh is asked whether it's Udinese. It isn't Udinese. All have an Italian passport, says Tatsugiri. It's possible. It's possible. I don't know for a fact. I mean, that's not the link, but it's certainly possible. Have they all won AFCON? They haven't. I mean, Udogie is an Italian international, I believe. All players have iconic hair, so dreadlocks. That would be lovely. That was my first thought as well. Dreadlocks from Hank, but both these has played with Kulusevski. I imagine that's understandable. But have the other players? If there is the possibility that the other players have, you never know. You never know. So Kokuk Smelsh says it feels like there's a player link. There might be a player link. There might be a player link indeed. So is it London clubs? It's not London clubs. It's not Ivory Coast nationality. Red App says, I don't know if it's written like that. All players are Londonian players with dreadlocks. It's still not dreadlocks. It's still not dreadlocks at all. Played in England and Italy. It's not that. Let's move on to the next one and see if we've got anything else. So Kokuk Smelsh did suggest El Shaarawy teammates. It's not El Shaarawy teammates, but that would be. Do you remember when everyone thought El Shaarawy was going to be amazing? It's nice to see that his career's had a bit of a resurgence after some injury troubles. Yeah, it's never quite got to the level it needs to be. So Vanglis has gone for they all have the letter G in the surname. Unfortunately, we've already ruined that guess for you there. So we've got Calafiori. It is indeed Calafiori. So is it that they're left-footed? It isn't that they're left-footed. So we have mentioned, or so Kokuk Smelsh mentioned, it feels like there's a player link, and I said it does feel like that. So I would probably suggest maybe going down that line potentially. So is it that they're born in Italy? It's not that they're all from Rome. It's not that they're all left-footed Londonians with iconic hair. Is it something related to Arteta? It isn't something related to Arteta. All got transferred to London clubs from Serie A. It's not that either, I'm afraid. They all love a headband. To be fair, they do all love a headband. There is some fabulous, slightly shoulder-length-isk hair going on. So all Londonian players wearing headbands. I know too few Ivorians, says Kokuk Smelsh. So you feel that it might be an Ivory Coast link. Let's see if the next one links you to Ivory Coast. Hank comes in with Nicola Pepe. It isn't Nicola Pepe. Here is the final link. Do we know who this is? A legend of tournaments. It is indeed Levi, Hank, Adam, RJ have got it right. It is Jan Sommer, the Swiss goalkeeper. I don't think, unfortunately, that he has an Ivorian link, does he? I suppose he might do. So are they all linked to Abisha, says Dinava? They're not all linked to Abisha. Sinisa Mihailovic has been a guess as well. Matteo Darmian's teammates. You are certainly getting warm, Kokuk Smelsh. It's not Matteo Darmian, but you are getting warm. Getting warm for sure. And where is Darmian currently, actually? Let's just have a look up here. So Matteo Darmian is at Inter still? He is at Inter, yes. Yes, indeed. So all have 2 hands and 2 legs, says Nemo Toad. That is very, very true. That is very, very true. So Vanglis has said that it is indeed Inter that Darmian's playing with. Lukmano Pants has gone for played with Kalinoglu. You're also warm. Macho Darman and Mkhitaryan are warm. But there's a different player that you're looking for. Nutmeg by Salah in Italy. Something Italy, says JH Quest. Yes, I suppose so. So are they all current Inter players from Italy? They're not all current Inter players. Obviously, Udogie's at Tottenham is probably the most obvious one that's wrong there. So Nicola Barella all played with Balotelli. I'm not aware if they've all played with Balotelli. Has Udogie played with Balotelli, perhaps? Might be worth something. It's going to be some third string keeper, I swear. It's not. I hope we don't have to... I mean, if we end up revealing without someone getting it, there is going to be at least one person in the chat who's going to be kicking themselves if nobody gets it. So AS Illuminated has gone for Nangolan. It's not Nangolan. Do they all like pizza? Quite possibly. Are they a Serbi's teammates? They're not a Serbi's teammates. Did they play with DeMarco? RJ, did they play with Federico DeMarco? I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. Well done, Adam. It's fabulous work. Finally, we are out of that, says RJ. Indeed, that's fair. That's fair. It's going to be that their initials spell in English chocolate. That'll be the later only connect. So it was indeed the Parma. So Flux right at the top. You were correct in mentioning Parma because that's where Gervinho and DeMarco played together back in 2018-19. He spent time with Udogie at Hellas Verona in 2020-21. He obviously is currently at Inter, which is where he's with Jan Sommer, and he's been part of the Italy team. Calafiori's been part of the Italy team since June of this year. And so teammates with Calafiori as well. Marvellous stuff. I think that is probably the point where we should head into the game now, shouldn't we? So RJ again, about time. Where are you, says Johnny Trotter. Indeed, so shit, I guessed DeMarco for the last game. You did indeed. Well, there wasn't many Italians at Inter left. No, that's true. Here, I said I stuck with DeMarco, told everybody to go for it. You did tell everyone to go for it. That is true. DeMarco is goated. He is very good. Can we give a point to RJ? I am more than happy to give a point to RJ. That wasn't meant to be as cruel as it now comes across as I laughed afterwards, so I feel quite bad in that regard. But I can't use DeMarco for guess a player because if he doesn't guess, that would be unfair, and if he does guess, that would also kind of be unfair. So there we go. It was indeed Federico DeMarco. It is my own skin. I basically peel it off just before I go to sleep. And I've used that to construct the wonderful Musterman iconic skin. So that link that I've just sent you there will take you across there. RJ, a pity point is still a point. Much in the same way that I have essentially decided that I will bang grannies. Pity is still worth it. I need to filter what I say. So, question of the day. No clue who he is. Southampton? It's understandable that you might want Lopetegui to go. So does anyone know who Vitor Pereira is? Currently at Al Shabab, I believe. But another Portuguese coach, which feels very on brand for Wolves. Very, very on brand. Jesus, yeah, that is indeed a fair reaction. Sexy grannies? They don't need to be sexy grannies. I mean, the Swedish grannies were sexy grannies, but as I said, I'm no longer fussy. What did I just enter to? Banging grannies. Good evening, Rowan. Yes. Yeah. I mean, essentially the point I was making is that even the old people in Sweden were very attractive. It wasn't really my thing, old people. I'm not going to, but that was 10 years or so ago, and sometimes beggars can't be choosers. But I don't filter my thoughts. I really, really need to filter my thoughts. A gilf enjoyer, says Look Marno Pants. You'll be licking the microphone and twerking soon. Hot tub streams start next week. That's how to get into the Christmas spirit, right? This stream has been ripe for clips, and let's hope that no one has done that. Let's definitely hope that no one has done that. Let's catch you up with where we are on the slave. Slave? Oh dear. Save. Evidently, Evidently, I'm now admitting to BDSM with grannies. Oh dear. Oh dear. Let's catch up with the save. It's been bad. It's been very, very bad. We are currently in 9th. We won our final game of the stream last night, but on Friday. But after opening with 2 straight wins, it's just been downhill since there. Whatever happened after our great cup success at the beginning of the season, it's just kind of fallen apart. Now, the form doesn't look too bad because we've got these massive 10-0 and 8-0 wins against lower league teams in the cups that have kind of bolstered and perhaps given a bit of a false impression. But that was 6 games, 5 games, 6 games, 6 games without a win until the final game of the stream where we beat Cups 3-1. Pretty comfortable until the 79th minute when they pulled one back. Our next game in the league is against reigning champions and current top team Ilves. The team of the Lynxes. Now, as bad as it's been, it shouldn't be this bad. We should be 3rd. We have underscored our XG by 3. We've conceded what we should concede. We've picked up fewer points than we should have done. But there are a number of teams who have outperformed their expectations, and that's a large contributor to where we are. So it's not necessarily panic stations just yet. I'm sure once we lose in the cup to SJK and we lose to Ilves, then it will be panic stations. That's for sure. So Flux says the old lady is playing in 30 minutes. It is. I do have a soft spot for Juventus. I quite liked Juventus in the 90s. Maybe that was some foreshadowing. I mean, that's how you go viral or get cancelled, says Look Marno Pants. That's true. That's true. Rip says AS Illuminated. It looks like I'm getting cancelled. So damn, we be struggling. We are struggling. Somebody clip that. No. You don't need to do that. Twitch ban incoming. I've done nothing. Oh, well, maybe if we do a hot tub stream, then I deserve a Twitch ban. Nobody wants to see that. Hank is now advocating for jail time. I think that's a little unfair, but also kind of reasonable at the same time. So Rich says, I've only been to Sweden for a day. I was holidaying in Denmark and I took a day trip across the Øresund Bridge to Malmo. Probably not the best bit of Sweden. Malmo's ground looked nice though. Lovely. So RJ says that Vinny won the FIFA Best, by the way. Interesting, just because I saw him on your screen. That's he's had a very good season. Seems to be fair. Could have gone to one of 3 or 4 players, and I think there's pretty decent arguments for any of them. So yeah, marvellous. I hung him in. Musterman, I realised something playing my Portuguese lowest league saves. Short ball equals results. Short passing can help indeed. The more control, the more possession you have, the less the opposition has the ball, the more tired they get as well. Generally speaking, it does quite well. I'm flabbergasted, indeed. Short ball and high tempo is OP. So, Akeb, asks for how many subs can we get a bathtub stream? 1 million. I'm willing to do most things, but no. No, that's not going to be a thing. Let's, in fact, again, divert away from that thought by heading into the game. So we have, we did switch to the 4-4-2 diamond that we used a couple of times.
It's not the statistics. You tell me, how do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
My word, John, look, Marno Pants, thank you very much. That gift subs to Paolo Lima 74, to Lord Faulty, to Be Tasty, Eloise Momo, and Shorty K. We are your part towards the bathtub stream is very much appreciated. I'm pretty confident that I'm a long way away from 1 million to be safe, but I would like to say now that if that ever does look like coming close, I reserve the right to change the target. Actually, hell no. I mean, for 1 million subs, yeah, you can see my hideous body. It'll be more fool you, unfortunately. The no pants part is so fitting, says the Kvez. Yeah, that's fair. Jono in action, by the way, thank you very much for the follow. If you're comfortable popping into chat, let us know who you support. Let us know who you're playing with in FM. We'd love to hear from you. If you're not, though, absolutely zero obligation whatsoever. So where was I before that? Ah, yes, we were talking about short ball and high tempo. Absolutely. And that's kind of where we're at the moment as well. Short passing, high tempo. We're not going all the way up. I find that shorter passing is more effective than the tempo changes. So you can still have reasonable success with medium tempo and a little bit lower. But yeah, we found out last season as well. That was our big change, was we took it from slightly shorter down to shorter. So let's see if we can win against a SJK. SJK were in the top division last year, but got relegated. So should be a reasonably decent team. I think they underperformed would be a fair way of putting it. And we are away from home, so I don't think we're going to be seeing a 10-0 win yet again. Let's go for... let's do that one. And we will just say some nice things to the people that didn't care. And a couple of them have reacted well. So we might have to see how Lundberg gets on in this game. Lundberg he's our top goal scorer. I think he's got 7, maybe 8 goals this season. He has underperformed his XG though, and we've seen him miss quite a few big chances for us. So there is the possibility that he is on the or he might end up spending some time on the bench in the coming games. We're going to see how things go. Right, so it looked like we had a chance to counterattack there. Instead, we've moved it back, but here's a Kerake out to Juhi even. Enquist with the low cross. Adam Larson. You know what that means. Adam Larson. Adam Larson. Boom. So there we go. Low cross from Enquist. Larson peels off his man, strikes it sweetly with his left foot into the far corner. A nice start. But here's a highlight almost immediately for SJK. Those things. Boubacar Fati over in loads of space and easy turn. Shot though should have been on target. We've got quite lucky there. So all it took to get to the game was talking about banging grannies. Indeed, it is the first game. FIFA 12 formation, is it now? I mean, a 4-4-2 diamond is a classic. I do love a diamond. So Lundberg going to play it out to Enquist. Enquist has some space. It's a bit slow, but yeah, he plays it inside to you. He couldn't get the cross in. There's Skoglund. Skoglund doesn't have a catchy tune to his name, because how on earth do you make a catchy tune for someone called Skoglund? Here we go, 2-0. That's got to be pretty encouraging. I expect SJK to be a good team. I don't think we're going to run away with it, even if we have started quite well so far. Got to slow down the pace. Exactly. We need to talk for about 50 minutes, then play a game, then talk for 50 minutes, then hit continue to the next game and so forth. So Wranglis asks, can you remind me which is the software you use for player faces? I do it in Figma. Figma is not the ideal bit of software for doing so. It's just simply a thing that I know how to use. And because I don't have very steady hands, like a drawing tablet or proper drawing software isn't really appropriate for me. I've never been able to draw as it is anyway, so that's an element to consider. I would definitely look at something proper. So Dimbe says, in fairness, I'm Scottish. I'm 35. I'm pretty sure there are grannies my age. Oh, in Scotland, definitely. That DMB, let's be fair. In Scotland, there are grannies about 5 years younger than you. We don't need to think about that logistically. Just sadly, that's the case. We need a red card emote for this. That's fair. Remember, 2-0 is a dangerous score. It is. Figma balls. Yeah, we do need a red card for that. Now I see what you mean. Okay. RJ would copulate with somebody's grandmother if they were 30 years old. We have definitely gone off track. I am so sorry for doing this. We've had some good chances. We've had a lot of the ball, but SJK have had more shots. Right, we need to tell them not to let it drop. We're going to... So in the past, we've kind of tried to conserve ourselves in the second half, maybe try and control the game a little bit more. I'm going to go more attacking. Let's see if we can get an early goal in the second half. Maybe just calm everything down and put ourselves in control. So here's Ekenas. He's going to cross it in. Larson gets his head to it, hits the bar and goes over. That would have almost been perfect, eh? Inside voice, RJ. Inside voice, indeed. We're 2-0 up. Nice. Now pray. Indeed. Guna community you've created. Well, yes, it does appear that way. I mean, obviously, you're talking about the glorious English football team Arsenal, aren't you? And nothing else. As Hanela pours forwards, there's a lovely cross, and that's a great save from Schultz. What a save from Schultz. Dryer Toast, thank you very much for the follow. I hope you're doing well. If you want to chat, do let us know who you support, who you're playing with in FM, as we concede and it's now 2-1. This is the dangerous scoreline moment. Let's tell the guys to focus. It's a lovely flick on at the near post. Cisse arrives in time. That's a lovely set-piece goal. I definitely can't complain about that. But we haven't really managed to get the momentum we wanted with the attacking, so we're now going to drop all the way down. Savalainen has taken a knock, which means that we can bring on Ajala for his return from injury. We're also going to replace Dahlstrom. No, we're not. We're going to replace a Kereke. Kereke seems to have been given the blame for not winning the header there. That'll be Fonsell, who is normally our starter. So that's fair. Forstrom's on a yellow card. We can stick with that. We've got it on balanced. Do we look to... We've got a lot of the ball, right? So let's be more expressive. Let's take a couple more risks in the final third. See if we can unlock them instead of just knocking it around every now and then. So is Figma free? And do you put a photo and makes an animated face or not? So Figma is free, and then I draw over the picture. So it's basically just a load of boxes and all the points adjusted very awkwardly. Here's Valsto back to Lane. Lane for Afari is in. That's going to be 2-2. Is he offside? The flag is up. The flag is up. That won't count. I think that was... We're not going to get a replay, though. We're not going to get a replay. I think it was the correct decision. Right, Lundberg's coming off for Slayman. Fonsell came on and immediately got a yellow card. Marvellous work from him there. Time to push up the time wasting. Bring Rockman on for the goal scorer. And make an impact. And then now that we've got time wasting up, we can use the last substitution. And that will be with... Which of my youth players am I bringing on? I'm bringing on Lofgren. The best way to see out a game, guys, some pro advice here. The best way to see out a game is to bring on a 17-year-old centre-back. And then move the original centre-back out wide. That definitely won't cause any problems. Like with this highlight that's coming up. Here's Karjalainen. Karjalainen takes aim just over. Ooh. Okay. Looks like we've got away with that a bit. Or have we? Last 30 seconds starts with a highlight from a throw-in. Larson goes all the way back to Kuitunen. Kuitunen finds Ajala. Ajala back to Kuitunen. Kuitunen across, and here's the young player just brought on. Lofgren plays it out wide to Forstrom. Forstrom plays it through. Here's Jimmy Slayman. Oh, what an impudent chip from Jimmy Slayman to make it 3-1 at the death. Beautiful stuff. Right, Forstrom, this was a nice ball over the top. Slayman's first touch is delightful. His second touch somehow even better. Beautiful stuff. Jimmy Slayman hears that I'm considering benching Lundberg for a bit, and he wants to take the chance. Now here's another chance from a corner potentially for SJK. At Visto, it's saved, but it's fallen to the feet of Babacar Fati, and that's the end of the game, or is it disallowed? Disallowed. Okay. Interrupting the goalkeeper, are they saying? I think we've got quite fortunate there in that respect. Now, normally I wouldn't celebrate a cup game, but it's been a tough few months for Mariehamn, so here we go. Maria ho, Maria who, Maria ha, Maria he, Maria ho, Maria who, Maria ha, Maria he, Maria ho, Maria who, Maria ha, Maria he, Maria ho, Maria who, Maria ha. There we go, get in. 3-1, we start the stream off with a win. It's only taken us an hour to get here. By the end of the game, you know, maybe we had started to create some chances, which is good. Be more expressive seems to have made a little bit of difference there in the later part of the game. Marvellous, marvellous stuff. This is where I now need to catch up. So RJ's inside voice, he calls Musterman. That's fair. That's fair. Crablong says, sorry I'm late, Musterman. Hope all is going well. Thank God you've missed degeneracy. Indeed, it has been quite a degenerate start to the stream. Honestly, you've not missed much. Musterman is tripping over his words left, right and centre, though. Indeed, indeed. And, he was having a pretty decent time of it as well. Willie Nunes is out. It's a broken Willie. It's a broken Willie. Well, it's a torn Willie, really. Which I think might be worse. He played 385 minutes on loan, 5 goals. Astonishing return in the third division of Finland. But to be out for 3 to 4 months is pretty sad for him, unfortunately. Let's see. Seeing dodgy YouTube stuff that City is minus 80 points. Where on earth is that coming from? That would be bold if it happened. Right, training, we'll pop them on rest. It's perfect. So our next game, it's an away game against Ilves. This might seem perhaps counterintuitive to those watching, but we are going to change back to our normal formation for this one. That is because this is the formation that we won at Ilves in the Cup. Oh, and we get Ilves in another cup as well. And it's away again. Is that 3? Is that every time we've played Ilves, it's been away from home in cups? So last season, Ilves in the... Okay, all the way up here. Ilves away there. We were knocked out by someone else we were knocked out by HJK. That was away in the semi-finals. We played Ilves away from home in the Liga Cup semi-final this time, where we turned that round for 2-0. And then our games coming up is Ilves away, home against Oulu, Ilves away again. That's brutal. That is brutal. So would have lowered your IQ. That's true. It definitely has. It definitely has. Where's our man Olawale? So basis, because it was a cup game, I decided to give him a little bit of a rest. Give Adam Larson a chance, and it seems to be okay. So Slayman is a target forward now, or does the new tactic just not have the individual instruction? Well observed. Does appear that it's not. It should do, because it was taken from our old one. Interesting. Well noticed. I mean, he did score, but still. At 5'11" and not particularly good in the air, not necessarily the thing. Slay. Oh my God, my prayer worked. It did indeed. Oh no, 10-month injury in October on my main winger, says Flux. That's brutal. 10 months is brutal. That was actually beautiful. It was, wasn't it? That move, Slayman, lovely finish. A great first touch. Such a cheeky little chip as well. Oh. So Adam asked me to hydrate. That's probably a good idea. Great cardio. It is indeed. Potato says, I can proudly say that this song is playing in my head for weeks. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. RJ reckons the bribe worked. It seems to. Rip Willie. No, not our Willie. Oop. I mean, who am I to judge with what's been said during the course of this stream? Trust me, it's worse. Yeah. That's the information we're here for. Blimey, thank you all for the lowdowns, everyone. Yes, Crablugs, this has been pretty much the level of conversation so far this evening as well. Regarding topical questions, Southampton should go for Big Sam, saviour specialist, kept a team in red and white up. He's out of work aside from working for Natalie Pike's channel. It's a dream come true for all parties. Discuss. Didn't he, his record of never getting a team relegated did end though, didn't it? Like in one of his, was that his last spell in the Premier League? I can't remember. So you know, maybe that magic is gone. So Crab Lung says, "Ooh, I'll have a look when I get home. I won't mind. It'll lift Southampton off the bottom." So we have at least the assent of one Southampton fan, which is pretty decent. I should confess there's a possible grain of sarcasm in my suggestion. Fair enough. Maya he, indeed, Maya who. Ole at Wolves, Big Sam at Southampton. Beautiful. That would be something. I actually think he'd get a hard time. Hindsight with United. Ollie did, that's for sure. I think they should take Brendan Rodgers, please. Why might you be saying that, Rangers fan, DM bassist? I want to see Allegri in England, says Flux. That could be interesting. That could definitely be interesting. Should be going for Moyes, but I think he's going MLS. Or where's he been linked with in the MLS? That'd be interesting too. Right, okay. We have a break coming up in about 15 seconds. So as for those that know, I will literally take a break. I'll minutes. About 3 minutes. And we're back. And there's been some good conversation going. So it was confirmed that Big Sam got both West Brom and Leeds relegated. I completely and utterly forgot. Wasn't it a 4-game spell with Leeds or something crazy? Or was that the West Brom one? My memory is clearly going. Pimienta at Wolves is a suggestion from Vangelis. I doubt he'd be keen, to be fair. So get Poch back at Southampton. That would be interesting. Obviously, a great time there. Maybe get Hasenhüttl back. I mean, is Russell Martin better than Hasenhüttl just because you didn't lose like 8-0, 9-1 or whatever that awful scoreline is again? So all the chat down here is Saints want Danny Röhl. That would be a pretty decent acquisition. You think he's done really well in very, very chaotic circumstances at Sheffield Wednesday. Yeah, I could see that, and someone with championship experience for next season as well. So I don't hate that as a suggestion. GNG suggests Alan Kirbishley for Southampton. What about Alan Pardew? Get all the Allens. I was going to say get all those kind of like early 2000s managers involved. But yeah, just Alan. Anyone called Alan would also be worthwhile. So it looks like the way that Hank doesn't want to lose Poch from US. Are you happy with how things have started off? I haven't actually seen any of your results, to be honest, since Poch has taken charge. So they're saying no project manager keeps Southampton up, says Ladislav. I think your bit in brackets, probably no one can, is the most pertinent there. I think that Southampton might be in a little bit of a Sheffield United situation where it's a bit too much to do from here on in. There's a number of teams that haven't kicked off their season yet, so maybe with the crab bucket someone can claw their way out. So right, Rich was saying doesn't think that Moyes will get an offer that appeals to him. That's understandable. Day one of the Prem this year, I saw their midfield and said that's the worst Premier midfield I've ever seen. That's fair. Svangler says, didn't know the Åland Islands have their own flag. I assume, you said just islands, I assume you mean Åland Islands. So yes, so Åland is a completely autonomous community, so they've got this, it kind of looks a little bit like the Icelandic flag, but with yellow instead of red, I think. Leeds was 3 to 4 games, West Bromwich Albion was significantly longer. There we go. Hasenhüttl is managing in the Bundesliga, that makes sense. Breath of fresh air to have Poch instead of the Moran we had before. What was wrong with Berhalter? Everything seemed to go so swimmingly with him. My knowledge of the non-top Premier League is too low to suggest anybody relevant. Fair. The Pardew dance was sick. Don't at me. It was indeed. I agree with you 100%, Tales of the Tapes. Poch and Hayes with the US women's national team. I read that as both Poch and Hayes with the US women's national team, and I was like, actually, I mean, given how things didn't go particularly well for him at Tottenham or Chelsea, maybe the US women's national team would have been an appropriate landing spot. Golden age of managers for the US for sure. That's fair. The player is Harry Maguire, says Hungdaminthus. So, right, yeah. Let's play Guess the Player. Again, in case there's anyone who's joined since earlier, the rules are really, really simple. You're going to see 4 pictures of a player's profile in Football Manager 24. The profile is from the base game, so the default database, the one that was updated in March of this year. So if they've moved in real life, they'll still be at their old club. Your job is to work out from those pictures who the player is. The earlier you guess, the more points you get. The more points you get, the higher up on that lovely little leaderboard that you'll be. It's all for pride. So let's go on and head on in with the very, very first clue here. We have an attacking midfielder, a right-footed attacking midfielder who's got a decent left foot. Is that enough information to guess? They're 3 stars. That's about all we've got there. Let's also, whilst we're here, if you've got a moment between guesses, go hit that heart button for FM Console. Good evening, FM Console. How are you doing? So, do we have some other guesses that I've missed out there? You can't have a guess the player without a DeMarco guesser. Balkan is doing his part there. I could suggest managers for 2nd Division in Belgium, though, says RJ. Do it. that might be what Southampton need to look for. Get an up-and-coming manager in the second division of Belgium. I am grateful every day Poch is not at Chelsea, says Ladislav Almasi fan. Matthias Yassel fired from Leipzig. He might get one of these jobs. That's a fair shout. I think that Yassel is quite a good and interesting manager. Obviously, the whole Red Bull lineage. So, console guest Jeremy Aliadier. Obviously, it's not going to be that, unfortunately. I should have put an Oxford Common for you. Poch and Hayes. Indeed, it's my bad just for the way I read it. So, the guest Ladislav Almasi fan has guessed Almasi. It's not Almasi. It's not Mason Mount. It's not Gonçalves or Vanaken or Bruno Fernandes or Marco Reus or Brennan Aronson or Florian Wirtz. It's not Jack Grealish or Morgan Gibbs-White. Are these like top 5 league only? They're not top 5 league only at all. So we had Eredivisie last week. We've had the Championship. We've had some variety in there, but they are going to be players that people should be able to guess. Well, we had the MLS earlier as well. They are going to be players that people should be able to guess. It shouldn't be too obscure. Morgan Rogers, Lookman, Trincao, Thiago Almada, Foden, Velasco, Havertz it is. So none of those are right. Let's move on to the next one. See what we've got here. We've got a player with phenomenal stamina, determination, flair, and work rate. Bit of a weird set of attributes to be very, very good at. Like an attacking midfielder, flair, sure. You don't think of attacking midfielders as being players that have high stamina. You think of them like being dribbly or passing or good vision. So what have we got coming in now? We've got some guesses of Alex Bainer and Stroikens. Both came through before we switched over to the next slide. Etaina Bonmati. I wish. So we've got some Crystal Palace guesses coming in. Dampy1 has gone for Eze. Hank has gone for Elise. Benedict over on YouTube has gone for Gabri Vega. It's none of those, I'm afraid, unfortunately. Another guess for Eze. Got Guimaraes, or how it's spelt. It's not Guimaraes, unfortunately. Could be Julio Baptista based on those player traits. It could quite easily be the second coming of Julio Baptista. I haven't thought. Just needs a little bit more strength, I guess, doesn't he? It's like Baptista had the ability to be a bit of a bruiser if he needed to be. So is it Harvey Barnes? It's not Harvey Barnes. It's not Kangin Lee. It's not Wirtz. It's not Svanberg. It's not Shaqiri. It's not Damsgaard. I really like Damsgaard. It's not McGinn. I really like McGinn. Is it Femin Lopez or Danny Olmo? Bonmati should be amazing in FM25, says Richson. Absolutely. Is it Alvarez or Muller? It is neither of those. Let's see what the scout report has to say. And whilst you're reading that, I'm going to cough. So the guesses that are coming in was we had Muller, we had João Pedro, we have Mitoma, we have Angel Gomez, we have Cherky, another one for Ryan Cherky, we've got Habib Dwyer. You guys have spotted that it is a 3-star Ligue 1 player. That does suddenly change those guesses quite a bit. So it's none of those, unfortunately. It's not Xavi Simons. It's not Martin Terrier. Martin Terrier is one of those players that I've never quite got Terrier. He seems to keep on getting good moves, but never seems to impress whenever I've seen him play for. Is it Fofana? It isn't. It's not Desiree Doué. It's not Asensio. It's not Golovin. It's not Vitinha or Gomez, unfortunately. It's So one thing I would definitely look to focus on is that they could improve a lot. That scope for being an extra 1.5 stars, that might suggest something there. Is it Haraldsson? Is that Hakan Arna Haraldsson? Is it Barcola or Buadi or Enzo Lafie? Flux has also gone for Haraldsson. Doué, we've got Enzo Lafie again. So we do have a correct guess in there. And the correct guess, understandably, if I can remember that Hakan Aaron Haraldsson's name, it's because it's going to be Hakan Arna Haraldsson. I just called him Aaron, so I can't remember his name, can I? That says everything you need to know. Well done. That is a fabulous 2 points going to Adam on the break FM. I really like Hakanana Howaldson. He's got that kind of like Michu feel to him. He's not as good in the air, obviously, as Michu, but like he just keeps on popping up with goals. But he doesn't necessarily have the greatest skill set. Lovely player. And I do see that Mr. Tuna Fish has gone for who? Lol. You're not familiar with all those great Lille legends? Now, Howaldson, I think it does say back here, was at Copenhagen, was a bit of a wonder kid kind of signing for Lille. He's still a little bit raw, but he's a cracking player. Definitely worth catching some clips of him. So Hank has gone for who the fuck is that guy as well. RJ doesn't know it. I've managed to alienate everybody here so far. So how do you guess those guys? Damn, who was faster? Unfortunately, Flux, Adam beat you to it. Was it even a minute in between? There were 4 guesses in between you and Adam, I'm afraid. I genuinely need to play with bigger teams, says FM Console. That's fair. I'm too busy playing with 5th Division Japanese teams to know who that is. Fair enough. But when it comes around to us doing 5th Division Japanese players, you're going to be quids in. Right, let's head back to the game, and we have Ilves coming up. 3 days. I should probably, whilst these mini games are going on, I should probably like holiday in the background. That would make sense, wouldn't it? But there we go. You live and you learn. So RJ is still in Serie C. These people are not for me. Fair. Crablung says, don't worry, I genuinely didn't know Poch was in the US. There we go. So Adam says, I did a little save on FM24, so check their results every now and again. So yeah, I've never managed him in FM. So the Moneyball clinics, obviously I've done one in France, but that doesn't involve me actually playing the games. I think we might have played Lille in one of my saves in the Europa League. I'm thinking maybe Pauk played them at some point. So I don't think I'm not 100% I've even played against him in FM. But in real life, he's a cracking player. Right, so we've changed back to, or we will be changing back to this because this has been successful against them in the past. That means that the defense, we can restore these guys. Ajala isn't too far off being fit. That was his first game back, the last game out, so that's encouraging. He can definitely play a significant amount of minutes, which will be cool. Go for Fonsel. We've got Enquist is back to full fitness. We restore Shambosh, as he's otherwise known, and Olawale. And we don't put Juhi up front. We'll stick with Lundberg. Defences, that's Forstrom, Ajala on the bench, Juhi on the bench, Skoglund, Larson, Slayman. That's our bench altogether. So that's what it looks like we're going with. I'm starting to have doubts now about whether we switch back to this. Now we get close to the game, all the doubts that sit in there. That's all for my staff to sort out. Adam Larson is pretty much gone. We've kind of got to accept that. So Slayman in the Finland under-21s, nice. Yeah, we have a couple of our youngsters heading out there. So Willie Nunez obviously would have been or has been up until now, but with that big injury. But Slayman looks to be the real deal. We should be pretty confident that he's gonna be a decent player for us and maybe be able to step up once Lundberg eventually leaves, because Lundberg will get attention of bigger teams. I'm almost certain of that. So RJ's little knowledge stopped at the team with Eden Hazard and Rio Mavuba. That's fair. Well, to be fair, it would have been because the reason I would have done it was because Aston Villa played Lille in the Conference League. And that meant that I suddenly was aware that Lille are a good team once again, because it's been some very, very barren years for them in recent times. Right, so here we go into the game. I'm not going to second guess myself. Lille are so interesting because they build a great team, win a title, and then get completely picked apart the summer after. And then they go dormant for another decade. You have put that far more eloquently than what I just said. Exactly that. So true indeed. Haven't watched much Lille this year, but Zhigrova is insane. Zhigrova is such a fun player to watch. Well, as a neutral, Zhigrova is a very fun player to watch. I can imagine as a Lille fan, he can be a little bit frustrating at times. It takes time to find world-beating wonder kids. Indeed. Zhigrova and David carrying Lille's attack. So I definitely see that Lille fans really dislike Jonathan David. I think I say that Zhigrova can be frustrating. I think Jonathan David can be very frustrating from what I gather. Talking about frustrating, here's Ilves coming forwards with Saint Chopin. He's going to cross it in. Machado gets it clear. Now, was that Saint Chopin or was it Stjopin? It's probably Stjopin. Dahlstrom pushes forward. Here's Savalainen. Plays the ball through. Olawale's in behind. Olawale! Oh, Olawale. You got to finish that off, man. You got to finish that off. We are very much up against it. 34% possession at this point in the game. We are immediately going to swap to the away version, which has us counter. And that one doesn't have the trequartista. So if we don't have much of the ball, I'm happy for us to send it forwards and try and get there on the break. And that's going to be a penalty because, of course, it's a penalty. Why is it always a penalty? Here we go. Alan Milmaki against Schultz, and that is 1-0 to Ilves. Oh. Alan Kirbishley has taken over Aston Villa in your Retro 0102 save. He was like every time a vacancy would come up, Alan Kirbishley was linked with us. It felt like it was meant to be. Obviously, as a former player, it kind of makes sense. But here we go. Right, chance for us to counter-attack. Here's Lundberg pouring forwards, holds the ball up, goes back to Enquist. Here's Shambos. Shambos plays it through. Olawale was offside. Surely he wasn't. It wasn't. Another big chance missed by Olawale. But we have a corner. Shambos to swing it in. Brighton at the far post, doesn't even challenge for it. Olawale will play it backwards. Here's Savalainen. It looked like it was going to be a highlight in everything. They've had some big chances, Ilves. Granted, the penalty was one of them, but the other... Oh, come on. Two penalties. Two penalties conceded by the same man. My word. We are so bad at conceding penalties. We're not that aggressive, are we, out of possession? We do press quite a lot, but tackling in the box has nothing to do with pressing. We don't get stuck in. But that's the game over, I think. I think that might be the game over. How do we bounce back from here? Alan Milmaki once again, this time straight down the middle, makes Schultz look like a fool. Savalainen has been subbed off after conceding 2 penalties in 30 minutes. Oof. Oof. This is painful. We're probably going to have to make changes at half-time as well, because obviously we've used one of our moves up, which means we only get 2 stoppages in the second half. We've created nothing, so that's fine. We don't deserve anything out of this game at the moment. We will switch to the third tactic of the afternoon. So this is going to be, which of the defenders miss out? So Raitanen is our main defender. So is Machado. So we're going to say, unfortunately, can any of these play on the right? Raitanen can play on the right. Machado can't. Kuitunen can't. So I'm thinking Ajala actually comes into midfield. And we swing Machado out right. He can play at right back. He's obviously not a wing back. Because Fonsel's not really had the great time of it either. Okay, we're not going to make a change. Counter isn't on in this formation. We are going to go attacking though. No, we're not. We're going to go positive. We're going to stick with positive, but we're going to be more expressive. And let's hope that this can maybe give us a little bit of a foothold, or concede immediately. Inside the first minute of the second half. Aspegren, lovely ball for Chow. Chow makes it 3-0. Thank you very much. That is truly, truly wonderful stuff there. Oh my. Oh my. So, well, hello, Slurp. Good evening. Welcome in. Your timing is wonderful. I'm going to blame you entirely for this defeat because we won the game earlier. So, Tale of the Tape says, do you approve of my signing Romario for my Forgotten Legends Streets Won't Forget save? I contemplated the decision for quite a while, but he was available for free. I couldn't say no. I mean, you do what you want. I feel like Romario was definitely a very, very, very good player. Perhaps a little bit more established superstar than cult hero, but that's ultimately up to you. Is this going to be 4-0? Well, we get it clear. Here's Shambost. Or is this a chance for us to break? The run from Olawale was a bit weird, but he's managed to find him anyway. Machado pushing the ball down the line. Here's Olawale. There's the cross. And there's Lundberg. That's 3-1. Game on. Or something. Maybe. RJ says that instant sub. That instant stub indeed. The Gremlins are too strong, says Maeve. They are. They are. My reasonings on the Romario was he never won the Ballon d'Or. He was kind of overshadowed by Ronaldo. Fair? People seem to have forgotten he was probably the best striker in the world at one point. That's my counterpoint there, essentially. He is a remarkably good player, a player who is recognised as being an exceptionally good player. Right. 20 minutes into the second half. Poncel plays at Enquist. We play a poor, poor pass from Enquist. Enquist is not having a great game. It's all been scrappy now. Al Milmarchi looking for his hat-trick. Drives into the area, and that is his hat-trick. And that is 4-1. Are we just going to keep on swapping between different formations over and over again? I have a feeling we might. So if we go back to what we were doing before, and that's this here. Daniel Enquist is having a bad time. Savalainen's on a 6.8. He conceded 2 penalties and he's on a 6.8. That is some very, very generous rating there. Lundberg is looking a little bit off, so be more expressive and attacking, and that will push the tempo up. We just have to go for it, and that means that we'll probably end up losing 5 or 6-1. That was during the old system. That was before the changes have even been made. Oh my word. Oh my word. This is absolute annihilation. Where is the defense? Where is the defense? There's the defense. Where's the other one? Is that Whiten? Whiten's been pulled over to the ball there. Machado at right back is where he should be. Enquist stops running from the looks of things. He sees the ball going through. There's our midfield. That is painful. That's horrible stuff. AC Moneyball stream when? Indeed. Oh my word, that is truly, truly awful. What a nice way to welcome that is, says Slurp. Indeed. Keep mentioning my name, we'll score more. We'll see. So Slurp. We've stopped conceding. We've gone a whole 5 minutes without conceding. Slurp, you're the saviour. Machado now plays it back to Reisman. Into Dahlstrom. Dahlstrom feeds Olawale. Olawale plays it into Skoglund. Daisy cutter, never really causing any trouble. Last changes of the half. Why is Schultz being blamed? 5.8 feels a little bit unfair considering what he's had to face. Right, Dahlstrom and Enquist are tired. So Dahlstrom comes off for Juhi. Borstrom. We put Adam Larson as a wing back. Why not put Adam Larson as a wing back? What does it really matter right now? We will push those lines up. Let's be extra aggressive. Let's just go completely direct. Hit those early crosses. Send it into... Why is that gone on him now? Interesting. It seems like something in between streams has broken the player instructions, which is a bit of a shame. So Arminio is in. Good evening. Will you be coaching in Finland for a long time? If you would be sacked, where would you want to go? So Arminio, we will see what happens with the save. There are no specific requirements or settings. We'll go for what feels right. Maybe if Mariehamn sack us, we end up wanting to go to another team to prove ourselves in Finland. Maybe we get offered something that seems quite interesting. Who knows? Right, Larsson. Has he created space for the shot? He has indeed. It's narrowly wide. Vittala wasn't getting there. You know what? Actually, I mean, I feel really crappy after this result. Really crappy after this result, right? So 4-1, I don't like this result. It's 6th goal of a season, 3 against us. Post-game press conference, why didn't you change all the players? We have only 5 subs, indeed. Are the Trequartistas usually performing? Never seems to work for me unless it's like elite level players. So Shambost has been fine. So with a Trequartista, the game expects them to be really creative. So if they don't end the game with like 50 key passes, they get bad ratings. But we've seen Shambost creating chances and doing the kind of things we want and getting beyond the striker to score goals as well. So I'm happy with it as a role. The ratings aren't necessarily that great, but that's okay. So 5-1, 2 penalties. That's 1.58 xg. So from the other 12 shots, they created another 1.2 xg. That's fine. From that 1.2 xg, they scored 3 more goals. From 1.85 xg, we scored just 1. So I think we can actually be quite happy with our performance, as dumb as it sounds. We created good chances. Like 0.18 per chance is fantastic. Obviously, Lundberg had a bit of a tap in there. That is a really harsh result. Now, does that mean that I won't throw the water bottle and shout at them? Absolutely not. They get what's coming to them. So Ilves is the bogey team of the save. Well, you say that, but we have beaten them twice. We have beaten them twice up to now. So they're unhappy about me telling them, your team talks have been confusing and concerning, and some of us would like to see a change of approach. I think that's rather pathetic. I can see I'm not going to be able to win. Thank you, guys. Now I'm hated by everyone. Marvellous. FFFF. Is it not? Hello? Am I back? I don't know. I do not know. I can see the stream still going on. We're back? Right, he's unplugged the internet after that result. I have indeed. Live stream rage quit after that result. Not at all. Not at all. I did not know. I did not know at all. You've probably missed some exceptionally wonderful insight from me. You missed me throwing the bottle. Right, marvellous. So I was explaining that actually the result was quite good. Not good. The result was bad. The performance was quite good. We created what? 1.85 xg to their 2.42. And they had 2 penalties in that. Yet they somehow scored 3 goals from 1.2 xg. We scored 1 from 1.85. It's. I don't think the tactic is the issue. It's the finishing, essentially. So we look. This is the screen I want. The Arvid Lundberg is now got 8 goals from 10 xg. Olawale has 6 from 6.7 xg. Adam Larsson has got 4 from 3.04. So I think we need to make these changes up front. I think we might even make 2 of them. Our next game is in 2 weeks' time. So any changes we plan to make won't matter because whoever we bring in is going to get injured. But I think for the next game, we're going with Sleiman and Larsson. Because there's absolutely no way that we can accept this underperformance. It's costing us games massively. Copium, says Hank the Tank. Indeed, my word. So the Ten Hag roleplay, says Flux. Oof, you guys are feeling mean tonight. I'm currently doing a Las Palmas save after watching your video. I'm using your tactic, but I don't have as much possession as I was expect, and I'm struggling to create many scoring chances. Do you have any advice for me, says Lukmano Pants? So you should. I don't know why you're not dominating possession. Depends who you're playing against. There's always going to be certain games you're going to struggle with in terms of possession. But you should have a lot of possession, generally speaking. You shouldn't create many scoring chances. I mean, I mentioned that quite heavily in the video, that you have very, very few chances created, but you create good quality chances. So that's kind of part of the feature of the Pimienta way. So I can't necessarily help you with that. If you're using that tactic for that reason, that's kind of a byproduct of it. And if you want to make it more attacking, you're going to probably have to sacrifice certain elements like possession, like defensive solidity. I do that in quotes because obviously Las Palmas still concede quite a lot, but when it was with Porto, they conceded, what was it, 12 goals in a season? So our best player that's going to come through looks like he's going to be a goalkeeper. I suppose that's okay. We can just stockpile on youth goalkeepers and no other positions. RJ, also that finishing. The finishing. I see what you did there. Winkinator, by the way, thank you very much for the follow. And JMac4105, I do apologise if I missed that earlier. Let us know in the chat who you follow. What team you're playing with in FM as well. If you're comfortable chatting, that is, of course. Concedes 5 goals, blames the attack. Well, I mean, ultimately, we've got 2 of those goals were penalties. That player was benched immediately. But yeah, we shouldn't have only conceded 1 goal there. Absolutely 100% blame the attack. No, you can't have one of my players. Stream has ended on Twitch, BB. So it's back on Twitch now. Apparently it dropped down. I wasn't aware that it's dropped down, but I can see myself. I'm watching I have the Twitch stream open as well. So if you'd rather watch it there, you can do indeed. Northman, good evening. How are you doing, sire? How are you doing? Wonder Kids in the youth intake. Yeah. Marginal amount of Wonder Kids in the youth intake. We're back, yay. Did it drop out again? Did it drop out a second time? What happened there? Tatsugiri says. What is happening? No, we're good. When did it drop out? Because you say we're back, yay. Has it only just come back for you? Or they didn't refresh properly, probably. Right, okay. Only dropped once. Stream is fine now and has been for several minutes. Right, cool, marvellous. I was going to say, I'm just looking at the stats. And I've only got a small bit. Dropped the... Yeah, I think we're okay. Actually, are we? Right, I can't... Good news is we've got another break apparently coming up in 7 minutes. That doesn't feel right. I'm not going to talk to Sid. I already know he's leaving. We're trying to sell him. I did take him off the transfer list before we started. And that's how he pays me. Now Forstrom is injured. We've got to redeem on Only Connect as well. So 6 minutes. 6 minutes doesn't seem right. We started at 7. Is it every 45 minutes? I got booted to Twitch chat itself. Okay, right. I think I know what's happened. It's whatever happened, it disconnected for some reason. And now it's essentially treating this like it's a new stream. So if you look at the top, it says that we've been on for 6 minutes. And the longest I can delay ads at the beginning of the stream is so essentially when at the beginning of the stream, I start 15 minutes early. We get the ads out the way before the stream starts properly, but it's now considered a new stream starting, which is why there's going to be ads coming up. I can snooze it for 5 minutes? I think I can snooze 3 times 15, and then I won't be able to snooze it again. So when the ads come, we'll go for the... actually, wait a second. Can I? Advanced settings, because it's an... Right, I think maybe I can... No. I tried doing through the settings because you can push it back a little bit for as I said, I time it for whilst it's still in the load up screen. So I've just tried putting it back another 10 minutes and it's changed nothing. Because then if I push it back 10 minutes and then we snooze a load, it would have come up at around the right time that they would normally come up. But well. So Steam got stuck for me earlier, so I had to go out and come back in as well. Yeah. Is it every 45 minutes? It isn't. No, it's, oh yeah, Twitch being Twitch. There you go. You didn't say Twitch being bitch. I said that myself, and that wasn't me being funny. That was just me clearly Freudian slipping there. So Johnny says, if you cut the wrong wire, does the countdown go faster? Yes, we're playing a completely different game now. Secretly, it's a bomb disposal attempt. Recruitment meeting we will decline, but that does mean that we do have the June window opening soon. It's a July window. It's a month until it opens. Yes, of course, because it's the 11th of July last season. And there's... Right, so Ekenas would have come back into the first team squad after Schultz shipped 5. And now he's out for 5 weeks. Woo! Right, Ulu is a big game. How are they doing? They're currently in 7th. Is this a team we played already? We haven't, no. So a big game, a chance for us to bounce back and hopefully get a little bit of momentum underneath us. Do we go back to the 4-4-2 diamond? Another injury. So Foncel, no, we don't go to the 4-4-2 diamond because we don't have any players. Okay. Charla gets the start. Bockman is on the bench. That's fine. That young goalkeeper comes in. Is that Per Edlund? What does that mean in terms of substitutes? So Forsstrom can step into midfield. He can play in midfield. We've got one fullback. We've got our normal things up front. That's okay. Forsstrom is a centre back. Yeah, I don't think we can play the diamond even if we wanted to. So there we go. That's how. Oh, okay. Nice link between Foncel and Dahlstrom. Yeah, just yeah. I've just got a thing coming up. There is a lot of weird stuff going on right now. So, yeah, I don't know why that's come. Even if it just started a new stream when it had issues earlier, that's taken it 11 minutes for it to come up saying that, which is peculiar. Right, we might be troubleshooting in the break because we can't quit out after a 5-1 defeat. Because then that looks like I'm secretly playing around with things so that I can end the stream early out of distress and dismay. No, we've got to at least lose another 3 more games on a trot before I'm allowed to do that. Ilves are doing very well. They've scored another 4 goals. So we can pop back there. Oh, brilliant. It's the colours clash. Oops. 4-0. They've scored 25 goals in 11 games. That's not too shabby, is it? 4 goals more than HJK. We've conceded 19 goals in that same time period. White on white, indeed. So secretly, exactly. That's why I can't. I can't, because then you think that I've done this thing. You're here for a long time, not a good time. Good evening, Zeep. How are you doing, sir? Lovely to see you in. Exactly. Can't see the score. Indeed, that's yes. Right. Okay, that ad break is going to happen now. We will come back. We will then hopefully have the stream all being nice and stable, and we'll recover with an amazing win against Oulu. Definitely going to happen. We're definitely not going to lose a home game to a team that we should beat, because that doesn't happen. I'll see you in a few moments. Yay, we're back. Fantastic. So, just to catch up, Hank asked what was the Moneyball stream like last week. I missed it, and as RJ has correctly said, we did a whole half the team of Brighton. It was as chaotic as I think you've come to expect from me now. So we will look through the teams. It didn't get quite as much done as I thought we would. Absolutely fantastic turnaround. There's like 80 people on YouTube for a large proportion of the stream, which was absolutely incredible. Also meant that I was even worse at following chat than I normally am, which says a lot. And talking about following chat, let's say hello to Heston over on YouTube, who hates Arsenal but enjoyed the video. I'm glad on both fronts. As someone who lived very, very close to the Arsenal training ground for most of my childhood, and especially during the Invincible time, I have a bit of a hate relationship with Arsenal as well. It's not really Arsenal the club, it's more the fans who were very much gloating all the time. And also, every fan that I knew personally was lovely. There's actually nothing against them at all, really. But you know what it's like. Also, the 3-4-3 version of your Tuchel tactic is going fantastically well. 12 conceded in 19 games. Well, I suppose I should say thank Tuchel, not me. Yes, it is quite organised. It does really well with the outside trapping. Maybe something we need to consider here with maybe looking to do something a bit more advanced with the defensive setup. So we're on to the last game of Only Connect, redeemed by DM Bassist. I assume that was meant to be redeemed and not some kind of weird artifact as a result of the weirdness with the stream. So let's head on in. I'll explain how this works. You're going to see 4 pictures of players, one after the other. They all have a common link. Your job is to guess what that link is, or that connection is. The earlier you guess, the more points you get. The more points you get, the higher up on that thing down there is. It's really simple. You won't be told the names of the players. It won't tell you who the players are in the pictures. So if you know who it is, mention it in chat, because not everyone will necessarily know. But if they have that information, might help you get together to reach that final conclusion. So let's see. And DM Bassist has in that time said that he did intend it. Perfect. Here is the very first clue. Do we know who this is? It's a bit of a shame. We could have done with Crodmo in as the resident Everton fan. So they are linked in a way. That is very true. Do we give RJ the 5 points for suggesting the connection is that they are all linked? All considered Al Massi as a hero. Perhaps they did. I mean, like your circuitous journey to becoming a true Ladislav Almasi fan was so unique that you kind of feel that it has to be everyone else has come to that same conclusion in a far more normal way. So probably everyone counts him as a hero. So DM Bassist recognises him. Ladislav Almasi has gone for Aruna Kone. It's not Aruna Kone. It is. Winkinator is in. He says, is this Lucina? It is indeed Lucina Traore. So Lucina Traore. Can we think of anything that links him? Not a particularly successful stint at Everton, I think it'd be fair to say. Hank the Tank has gone for 6'6" strikers. Not 6'6" strikers. But is he 6'6"? That's yeah, I mean he must be around that, so that's fair. So all Traores of different nationalities gone for Tatsugiri. That would be cool. That would definitely be cool. It's not that. So do they all play first? Do all the players' first names backwards sound a little like football clubs? So Traore backwards sounds like Trao, Eroart. What was it meant to sound like? Eroart. Uvavu. So he's 6'8". Well, there we go. So they all played for Angie. They didn't, unfortunately. But DM Basis has gone for that as well. He also went for ASEC Mimosa youth players again. Wouldn't that be fine? Wouldn't it be amazing if the guess from the earlier round would have been the one? That would have been beautiful. So they all had alcohol sponsors, but a teetotal. That's kind of like that. It's not that, unfortunately. I thought Lucina backwards would sound a bit like Arsenal. Anik, right, okay, but it doesn't. First name of him. First name, indeed. You did say first name, not surname. My bad. My dad. So Lucina. Tales of the Tapes got there. He said it's Lucina. Arsenal, I guess. So it was definitely 100% my fault there. Let's move on to the next clue. Who is this fine chest thumping gentleman? So we've got Lucina has 16 brothers. That's not a guess, just an interesting fact. Well, maybe the clue is it's just all his brothers. 16 brothers is quite crazy. Truly crazy. So Adam has said that it's Pantmillion. Is it Costel Pantmillion? It is Costel Pantmillion. Winkinator's identified it too, as has Hank the Tank. So Hank has gone for, played for Cluj. It's quite good. That's quite good. It's not bad there. It's not there. Are they all low knees? They're not, unfortunately. So Tales of the Tape says tallest Premier League players. And then Ladislav has come through with tallest 4 prep players in the Premier League history. The Koltov is in and he has identified that it's Costel. Let me just do the thing that I need to most definitely do, because I know that we're in the middle of the game, but if you are not following the Cult of FM, my God, you really, really should be. An absolute incredible fella. A lovely, lovely human being more than anything else, but a great, great streamer, a great video maker. His Moneyball series currently is amazing. Do definitely go and give him some love. So what I will say is they're not the tallest Premier League players. I can tell you with a fact that Lassina Traore does not come in, say, the top 5 for tallest Premier League players. But you are certainly along the right lines, I think. So Koltov did see Pantilimon players. Would that have been at Watford by any chance? Nemo Toad has guessed that they've all got fun surnames. Interesting. Are they all 6'8"? So I don't think they're 6'8". Let's just. No, in fact, my sources, the sources I have, suggest that Lassina Traore is shorter than 6'8". So less than 10 games played for the club. It's a fine guess indeed. Koltov has the best Moneyball series, says Hank, absolutely. Evening FMFC, how are you? How are you indeed? No, carry on, don't need to do this each time, but I want to do it. So, all signed by Roy Keane. Interesting, it's not that tall. DM Basis says Traore is only 6'6", indeed. 4 heaviest players in Premier League history. That would be a fine guess. It's not that. It's not that. Community Shield, Manchester City versus Chelsea, 2012-13. Fair enough. I still find it weird that he was ever at Man City. I know that he's at Man City in this image, but it wasn't necessarily their greatest time either, was it? So Winkinator's gone. Did they play for one club with each other? They didn't. It is not a club link. You guys have been very, very close so far. As I said, Lassina, it's not the tallest players in Premier League history because Lassina Traore is not in the top 5. Do we know who the next player is? FMFC is good, marvellous. Tallest players for their clubs ever. That's a fair guess. Possibly, yes. Do you know what? I'm giving that to you, Ladislav Almasi fan. Onuachu is also very tall. He is also very tall, so it has to be high. I'm giving the points to him because technically he is definitely right, and it is on the right theme. It's not tallest. It's just players that are taller than 2 meters, taller than 6'6". So Paul Onuachu and Peter Crouch were both in at 6'6". Pantilimon and Lassina Traore at 6'7". So Hank isn't happy. He's gone bro. So they are all the tallest players of their relative clubs. Peter Crouch is the tallest player, I believe, of every club he's been at. So we had other players in there that you could have had. There was a Nottingham Forest player that I've never heard of. Let's have a look at who the tallest players were. Give me 1 second. Tallest players. League. I can't spell Premier League. So Brighton have Kjell Sherpen. Chelsea would be Lucas Bergstrom. Nottingham Forest was Carlos Miguel. Lassina Traore, Kostel Pantamillion. Wolves had Stefan Meyerhofer. Birmingham had Nikola Zigic. Then it'd be Peter Crouch, Fraser Forster, Paul Onuachu. So they were outside. Where's... sorry. Lassina Traore was in the top 5. It's Paul Onuachu who wasn't. Let me get chat back up. I'm sure that we've got some happy responses in here. So biggest boot size was a guess from Bam Bam. Tallest players was guessed again. Southampton Siege Tower. Almasi is a few centimetres off 2 meters. Courtois in that list. He is exactly 2 meters. Same height as Sasha Kalajic. And 1 centimetre shorter than Luton legend Ian Furier. Meters. What are we doing here? Says the Koltov. Well, look, Imperial is very much used in a relatively limited number of places. Meters is a much more universal number, so we went with meters for that reason. The problem is I know things in feet. Hank's gone for my thoughts exactly. Fair. That Portsmouth lad, no. So Birmingham, that was it. Birmingham, there we go. My thoughts exactly. Rigged against Americans. It's about time that you embrace the metric system. Just makes so much more sense. So much more sense. Right, this is where the recovery happens, guys. After our absolute thumping last time out, 5 goals conceded, 2.4 XG conceded. Most of that came from 2 penalties conceded by Savalainen, who's on the bench. 2 penalties conceded in the opening 30 minutes. I'm still not over it. I'm still not over it at all. This is where we're going to turn things around. A home game against AC Oulu. I believe Oulu beat us last season at our place, from what I remember. We're going to... we did the meter of being on your backs last time in the cup, and we started quite well, so we'll run with that. We will say some nice things to Dahlstrom and Larson. And so, right, they're using metric system for bullets. Now the American hate is coming out. Ooh, that seems unfair. James is asking, are you using transfer market for height? I think I used Wikipedia. The ever so accurate resource that is Wikipedia. We take our guns seriously, says Hank. Fair enough. People in here, when you play FM, how do you set the height in preferences? So Tatsugiri does it in feet. Love me a striking duo of Peter Crouch and Jan Koller, says Jason. Good evening, Jason. How are you doing? I mean, yes, I use feet as well. What's the point? See? I don't know what people are in meters. But, you know, we have an international community, and those... Everyone who uses it in meters, they don't like chatting. That's just the way it is. They said to me separately off stream. They said if Koltov ever asked us anything, don't acknowledge that we're even here. So I apologise for breaking out of that. Right, early start. There's not much really happening. Nothing going on in terms of creation. That was an awful goal kick. He didn't get it very far. Thankfully, Whiten knocked it on. And here's Larson. Is he able to get down the side? He isn't. He plays it back to Dahlstrom. Dahlstrom from the edge of the area. Dahlstrom. Rider on the storm. Sebastian Dahlstrom. Yeah, Sebastian Dahlstrom. Yes! That's what we needed. Barely anything. It's the first highlight of the game. It's 1-0. There's been just 3 shots so far. They have not been particularly good chances either. Right, let's demand more going into the last 10 minutes. Actually, do we want to go 2-0 up? I think I'd much prefer 1-0 at half-time if we could. Or 3-0 at half-time. Either of those are particularly good. So the Koltov says 3-0 currently so far. Yeah, but it doesn't count for anything. Wikipedia has Lucina at 1.98 meters. Not when I looked at it earlier. I mean, I only did it which speaks very much to the unreliability of Wikipedia. Here's Ajala. Swings it in. Adam Larson. Adam Larson. Adam Larson. This is what we need. This is what we need. Right, Tatsugiri says that they would measure it in gnome toes if it was an option. That definitely needs to be an option. How long is a gnome toe, Tatsugiri? Because I am more than happy to send you a custom skin with everybody measured in gnome toes. 100%. So see, Levi's got it right. There we go, metric, perfect stuff. James is along the stream, thank you very much. The Colt says on the ropes. Not on the ropes at all. Rigged, he's saying now. An American friend once told me that they would use anything before using metric. Like this pitch is 10 trucks long. That is quite famously the American system. Anything but the metric. You measure stuff in swimming pools and football pitches, trucks, badgers. How many beaver time can be measured in beaver pregnancies? So, not been a particularly good game in terms of quality. We've had 3 shots, 2 of them have been goals. They've had 3 shots, much lower quality. We've had a lot of the balls. So, might be winning. We need to guard against complacency. I know that'll get some bad reactions. That's absolutely fine. We're going to ask them to be more expressive. We've got a lot of the ball. We're in the final third a lot. Let's take a couple more risks. Let's try and just turn the screw a little there. I would like a recount, says the Colt. Tough. This is how things work in the dictatorship of Musterman. So Tales of the Tape says I'm in Thailand, so it should be metric for me. But since I've been a big NBA fan since forever, I'm used to feet and inches. That's fair. That makes sense. I say personally, I'm more used to feet and inches. I have no idea what heights are converted. I know that 2. Actually, no, I don't. I thought that 2 meters was... So 6 foot's around 1 meter 80 ish. A poor cross there from... Oh no. Babatunde comes away with it. That's some poor defending from Queetonen. He gets back though to cover. His clearance doesn't go far. Metaxas over to Namela. Namela can take aim from distance. Schultz was very, very confident to leave it there. That seems to be a little worrying there. Now Shambos plays it out to Ajala. Ajala will have to go back. Machado across to Whitening. There we go. And back. We've got some space. It's not a good pass. It is a good pass. Who knows? That probably should have been intercepted. Ajala can't finish it when placed through on goal. So we're starting... This is what we should expect. Because we're starting to take more risks, we should start to lose some of that possession. We can, though, now, going into the last 15 minutes or so, look to just take that down. I'm happy with very, very few chances from here. We haven't seen Shambos involved much at all. So this will be change number 1. And we'll look to waste a bit of time. So Jala's doing fine. Keoke's holding out pretty much okay. We can definitely be okay there. So football fields, that's a good one. American football, the worst one. We use centimetres here in Cyprus, says Jason. 6 foot is 1 meter 83. Marvellous. Slayman! Oh, Slayman. That should have been 3-0. I mean, he had to contort quite a bit. All I know is 185 centimetres is 6 foot 1 because I'm 185. That makes sense. See, he's not even sure how tall 2 meters is. I'm starting a chat riot. That's fine. I'm happy to time you out. I'm happy to time you out, Jack. I said I'm a dictator. That's how these things work. Right. Ulu, oh, bad chance from Enquist. They're now free. Plays it into Renix. Here comes the cross to the far post. Stridon can't get there. Pannanen plays it back inside. Ojala cleared by Machado. We can't get our lines cleared at all. It's back out to Darusi down the right. Shoots from distance. Schultz pushes it away. Still under Ulu's control. But here's Larson. End-to-end stuff. Plays it inside. Dahlstrom. Back to Reiten. Oh, that could have been an exciting counter-attack. Instead, we went backwards. Right, Ajala has done really well, but he's still returning from injury. He can come off. And Lundberg will come on here as well. And that's going to be our prompt to move these up. Not our greatest game by any stretch of the imagination. But a win will be a win if we can hold on. Pannanen will look to change that though. Lining up the free kick from distance, hits the woodwork. We get it clear eventually with Savalainen. Savalainen managing to do an action in the box without giving away a penalty, which is marvellous stuff. We see that he's improved from last week. Always encouraging to see. And the last changes will be... I think we're going to double up on the defensive midfielders into those final few minutes. Like to keep them nice and fresh. Don't want to lose that battle there. Means Olawale doesn't come back onto the pitch at any point. Could this be the end of Olawale's purple patch? Looks like that to me. Whatever height I am is 6'2" and definitely not 5'7". Absolutely, I believe you. It's the internet, so I have to believe what you say. The cult of feet. Oh, I wasn't even looking at that goal there. Please only be a consolation. We will make a little change as a result. It's a low cross. Reiten can't quite get it clear. It comes to Ojala. He hoofs it into the box. There's 2 defenders there, but it's perfectly in between the 2 of them. A nice easy header, and Renix makes it 2-1. That's not the one I want. This is the one I want. Pausing every single opportunity there. So I smell a mutiny, says Adam. What size feet do you guys use to measure someone's height? Feet that are roughly 2.5 centimeters. No, not roughly 30 centimeters long. Very, very specific type of feet. Always that scary 2-0. It is always scary. We also don't know how to keep clean sheets whatsoever. That was possibly, like genuinely, that was a worse performance than the game that we lost 5-1. We didn't concede any penalties though, which makes a huge, huge difference. And there's always only one way to respond in kind to this. Oh, it feels good to be back to winning ways. Granted, we've actually technically won 2 of our last 3 league games, but still, after the absolute dismantling at the hand of Ilves, that's going to go a long way to making us feel a bit better. So, well done. We didn't play as well as we can, but I'm happy with the result. Well done, we weren't our best, but we got the result. I wonder what the difference between those two is. Doesn't really matter too much. Oh, why does it move on a day? Should really take me... Now it's the next day, and now they're going to be resting for a day longer than I would have wanted there. But, right, Fonsella's ready to come back. He will probably come on the bench for... It's the 7 subs thing. Actually in a bit of a... Do we... I think... So, Queeson was the man at the far post for the goal. He had a couple of moments where he was doing some... He made a good recovery challenge after absolutely ballsing it up ahead of that. So I think Forstrom's going to be coming in for the next game. I think Queeson's actually going to drop to the bench. We're definitely sticking with Slayman and Larson. Slayman missed a big chance. Oh, it's the cup game against Ilves as well, isn't it? Right. Cup game against Ilves sees us making a couple of extra changes in here then. So that's going to be... I know that we should take the Swarman Cup more seriously and potentially try and get past them, but I'm happy for us... I'm not happy for us to lose. You know what I mean. I'm sure. Touch the slider, Ulu becomes Barcelona. They did indeed. I mean, they have had reasonably decent form against us in the past. So Almo Wars is in over on YouTube. I'm from Germany, and I don't get the feet inches height. It's also too inaccurate for me, to be honest. That's fair enough. I mean, what isn't there to get? Obviously, 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. So if you want to measure someone and say that they're like 5'11 3/4, that's 5 times 2.54 times 12 plus 11 times 2.54 plus 2.54 divided by 0.75. Really, really easy to do that in your head. Right. And here we go. Right, okay, let me do something far more important now. Where is... Oh. Okay, so you guys can't hear the music in the background at the moment. I didn't realise that's the case, which means I can pause that, and then we can do this. Absolute banger of a theme. Oh, like 100% the best of the competition themes out there. Like, there is no denying that whatsoever. Here we go. I'm going to watch the whole draw because I'm a... Oh, there's not actually that many teams, are there? We're not 56 teams. Maybe we don't watch the whole draw. 3 speed. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. When does the qualifying rounds begin? Not too far away now. Not too far away. So I think it's going to be it's late June, so the end of this month in game. Also give England a participation trophy for using stones as a weighing metric. Absolutely. Absolutely. Stones is amazing. So I've got to pay attention. I've got to actually see who we end up drawing. Champions League anthem is better, or were you being sarcastic? I was not being sarcastic. That is a great, great tune. Right, it will be unseeded, I assume. I should have probably looked at that section beforehand. So there's if Ilves could play Lynx, that would be a nice touch. I mean, I know that Ilves are in the Champions League qualifying path, but a situation where they play Lynx would be very, very nice. Have we already been drawn and I missed it because I was talking? That wouldn't be a surprise, to be fair. That'd be very, very much on brand. Valmira, Ektobi versus... I mean, there we are. We are unseeded. Right. Berkikara. Who are the teams? I mean, essentially, if I haven't heard of a team when they come up, we want them. So I've heard of Podgorica. I don't want them. That's fine. That's fine. Come on, someone nice. B36 Torshavn. I like the sound of that one. I definitely like the sound of B36. But they're going to play Samgarali. I would have liked to play Samgarali as well, whoever they are. Right, Scoopy. That's a good strong name as well. They're going to play Torpedo Bellas Giordino, though. Damn. Yep, so Almo says, totally easy in comparison to Metric. Exactly. Really, really easy. Rubbish football anthem. Love it. It's a great football anthem. The Spurs song. Is that because they're in the Conference League? Right, I see. IFK Mariehamn. We've got a home tie to begin with. We are going to play Alishkert. I'm guessing. Let's advance to the end now. We don't need to see the rest of them. That's got to be Armenia. I should have just looked at the badge, to be fair. Alishkert. They're in Yerevan, so they have 2 real players. A guy called Serob Grigorian, a 4-time international at left back, 30 years old, and Nikolai Kipiani, a uncapped Russian winger. Interesting. That's a good rustic stadium, like the corner. Oh, that I quite like that. The idea of having, you've got a main stand and then you've got this like corner stand as well. Yeah, that should be fun. That feels like a decent draw for us. So sadly, unfortunately, Ladislav Almasi fan, it's not Mariehamn versus Airbus. That could have been quite fun as well. Hank asks, what about Zealand's FA Cup song? Nah, it's nothing. It's not a touch on the Conference League theme. That's nice to see all these teams I've never heard of. Indeed. So all of them, yeah, that's fair. The Europa theme sounds a bit too much like car advertisement music for me. See, do you think so? I think of car advertisement music being like more kind of like stadium rock. You know, the really generic, the corporate sounding stadium rock stuff. So it's like, yes, this is energetic and it has like instruments, but it sounds really bland. That's to my head is car advert music. That's a tough draw, actually, says DM Basis. I mean, fair enough. I feel kind of okay about it. What should I be worried about? They're down as the third team. I've heard of Noah. I've heard of Punic. Those teams I would have been worried about. I have heard of Alishkert, but I don't think of them as being a particularly notable team. So bands like Jet, Are You Gonna Be My Girl? That's car ad music. Exactly. Tuffy. Crab Lungs isn't feeling confident about it as well. Right, Coot Miners has just scored a nice free kick, apparently. Imagine Dragons is any advert. I don't think I could name a single Imagine Dragons song. I have to admit. So does it say anything about us being a difficult game for us? I mean, obviously we're an unseeded team. They're a seeded team. Every game is going to be relatively different. I won't force you to watch another draw. Right, so even more games rearranged because we could potentially play Dundalk or Skenderbo. Skenderbo, I imagine, would probably be the favoured one out of those two. So we might only make it one round. That's fine. Radioactive, Demons, Believer. Now, I assume they're all Imagine Dragons songs, and I reckon they will go, whoa, 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 in the chorus, and they'll be like really big, sparse drum hits, and you will have forgotten it 3 minutes after the song's ended. Right, there's another injury. Marvellous stuff. Yeah, I think if they had a full squad of players, it'd be difficult. They tend to be all right in these games. Fair enough. Let's say I expect it's going to be a struggle, whoever we get. Talking about struggles in cups, here we go. We've got the Ilves game here now. You'll have heard Radioactive. It was everywhere for a while. But yeah, they're pretty shite. Sorry to any Imagine Dragons fans. I mean, you shouldn't feel the need to apologise. I'm sure they're old enough and ugly enough to accept some criticism. Maybe. Ouch, says Levi. Or maybe not. So, Shambost is the one who's come in. We're sticking with Slayman and Larson. Oh. Okay. No, it's not. I don't want these players to have really bad morale because they've just lost a game that they're kind of meant to lose. Ingris will get a rest for a little bit. Cheers, Hank. Kerake, Forstrom. Yeah, let's see if we can. So Savalainen, last time we played against them, conceded 2 penalties. So we're rewarding him by reinstating him for another game against Ilves away from home, on a different flank this time though. So that should be okay. We had a good response to that previously. That seems to be okay. I trust you to make the difference. Lots of happy responses there. We've beaten Ilves twice with this tactical approach in the past, both times away from home. We've also just lost 5-1 starting a game with this tactical approach. So, you know. Shuhi plays it back to Machado. Machado gets it back from Okereke. Here's Whiten. Forstrom can find Savalainen. Savalainen will play it inside to Slayman. Good first touch. Slayman back to Savalainen. Is going to create some space. Gets it across to Shambost, who refuses to shoot. What on earth was that? Oh boy. Was that really the only option from here? I need to see this before vertical scrolling. He's left-footed, man. He's left-footed. So you take that. If you don't shoot first time, you take a small touch and then you aim it there. Oh, Shambost. You're almost so close to being subbed off immediately. Can you imagine someone subbing off a player after 6 minutes when we've created a goal? Jimmy Slayman with the goal. My word. My word. Crazy. The Nemesis Gremlins FC. Well, let's see. A good start. Slayman with a good start. That's got to be saved by Vitala. That was far too close for the goalkeeper to be letting that through. We're not going to complain. Right, a throw in. 9 minutes in. Slayman back to Forsstrom. Finds Akereke. There's a man going through, but he doesn't. He plays it to Olawale instead. There's a chance to feed Slayman, but Slayman gets it this time. Slayman! Oh, Slayman. This is a very, very encouraging start. Another throw in here. Ajala to the far post. Savalainen gets his head to it. Loops up and onto the top of the net. Yes, Queen, slay, says Nemo Toad. Exactly. I wonder what the fastest non-injury force substitution is in a top league. I'm tempted just for the shits. I mean, the moment has gone, but it would have been perfectly reasonable. Why did he do that? I don't care if it worked out. Ooh, Chow just inches wide there. Right, we send the goal kick long. Here's a chance. No, Umar manages to get in. Olawale had stopped running. Here's Kante, scorer of the third goal in the last game. It's a poor pass, but Ilves managed to recover. Kviko carries forward. Plays it down the line to Bulgakov. Inside. Here's Arifi. Early cross. Huutonen completely unmarked. None of the defenders tracked, and it wasn't like a quick run there. It wasn't a quick run whatsoever. It was just kind of... Slayman is through. Oh, that's awful defending. He feeds Olawale, and that's 2-0. That is 2-0. I've been complaining about our defending, but that is shocking. Absolutely shocking. Just doesn't pay attention. Slayman is in behind. And was this a cheeky little Cruyff flick? It kind of was. You cheeky bastard. What a pass. Was that a back heel? This kid has balls. So I know Clement subbed off Cantwell after about 30 minutes for us, but there must be... I think there was a... It was either like a Conte or a Pep Guardiola. Huutonen forces a great save from Schultz. I really should have said some positive things after we went 2-0 up. I think one of Pep or Conte, oh, nice volley, subbed a player off after 20 minutes once. I remember there being a big hoo-ha about it. But then usually after the game they'll say it's for an injury or something. You never really know. Didn't Southampton take someone off after 15 minutes against Spurs the other day? Or was that an injury? I don't know. Huutonen is in behind. That's going to be 2-1. It most definitely is. A lovely finish. A nice composed finish this time. He's had a couple of opportunities and he's been denied. So here comes the focus. Or was that firing up? I may have pressed the wrong button there. Huutonen, nice finish. That was a good run. You want the defenders to track there, but that's kind of a more understandable situation. So Savalainen, it's half an hour gone. Back to Forsstrom. Savalainen crosses it in. Keeper should be able to claim. Vitala with the ball now. We do lack a little bit of that aerial presence with Lundberg off the pitch, but he hasn't been performing. And Huutonen now has got down the outside. Huutonen makes it 2-2. That's a bit disappointing that time. I mean, again, the run isn't... It kind of makes sense. You're not always going to be perfectly tight, but we kind of just let him run past us there. So, the wrong player is stepping up. Being the near post. Disappointing. So it should be... So Machado is the one who's meant to be standing, pushing up. They play with one up front, so I don't want him to be on cover, because that tends to stop him from actually paying attention. But we're going to do... No, we're not. We're going to leave him on defend. Just going to drop the press a little bit. Let's just see if that will help us cover and stop them from getting through our defence just far too easily. So they've had a couple of chances now. since we've made that change. They've had quite a few chances since we've made that change, so I'm not happy with that. In fact, they've pretty much doubled their chances, even if they didn't create any highlights. We're going to say I'm happy. I'm not happy. So Milwaukee is a problem for us, and Huuhtanen is a problem for us. Milwaukee has drifted over to the right, or in the highlights he's been drifting over to the right, which is when he's caused us problems. So we're going to swap these guys around. Tackle harder there is okay. So Machado should be the one standing in. Closing down less didn't work, so we will go with the cover duty there instead. Right, with that last opportunity, it came through from that angle, so if he was on cover, he wouldn't have come across anyway. So we're going to go with that. Shambos still isn't really doing much. Actually, that's not true. Shambos had that moment that should have got him subbed off. We are just going to... I haven't seen them pushing too high, so we'll try and build up a little bit more from deep. See if we can just establish control and restrict some of their chances. They brought Huuhtanen off. That's an unexpected change. Here's Bulgakov into Ali Mimaki. Back to Fico. Down the line, but Ajala was able to step in. Machado now with the ball. We're getting spanked after the 2-0. We are indeed. But here's Slayman in behind, potentially. The angle, he's been forced wide, so he plays it to Juhi, whatever that was. Savalainen cuts inside, curls it. Olawale heads it over from 3 yards out. Oh, Olawale. Olawale, you winning. Right, Ilves now with the free kick to Kafiko. He plays it down the line. He's got the other side of Ajala, but Kereke comes back. Whiten plays it across to the left. No, he doesn't. He feeds it into a Kereke. Shambost down the line. Ajala is behind. Weird touch. Just run down the line. Get the crossing. It's not that hard. Not that complicated, my man. Savalainen into Juhi. Juhi finds Slayman. Slayman plays it back to Savalainen. Savalainen takes on his man. Tries to create space. He gets across in. Olawale makes amends for the miss earlier. There we go. Olawale with a second for the evening. Southampton versus Spurs, that is. So they did take off a striker and went through at the back. Says Little John's over on YouTube. So didn't Mourinho sub Renato Sanchez off after like 10 minutes at Rome? That's what I was thinking of. And Crablungs confirms as well. It was Silamana that came off. Right, Argis has always made me laugh that an early sub is considered bad when nobody cares about a player being subbed in for literally a few seconds. I think it's just the statement on a player that they've been so bad that you won't even stick with them and that you'll use up one of your substitutions that early in a game. I kind of get it. But I also think that it's good if a manager does. If a manager sees something is wrong, then react. Don't stick stubbornly to your starting lineup just because they're the starting lineup. Oh. Well, that's a thing that happened. Oh my word. Oh, that is pain. Pain. Relief. Pain and relief. What a crazy game this is. What a crazy, crazy game. Shambos with a curler from distance. My. Right, Akereke is going to be the man coming off, as is Ajala because they're tired. Enquist on, we'll swap those guys over. I'm happy to keep this. They don't seem to be pressuring us high, so I'm happy for us to stick with this. We have kind of really taking over the momentum now in that respect. Into the last 10 minutes. There's a shot though. Right, another free kick for us. Shambos will send it in. Savalainen can't win the first ball. Olawale can win the second. And Umar just about gets that clear ahead of Reitinen. Here we are. This is the last 10 minutes. Slayman, looking tired, will be replaced by Lundberg. That will be our prompt to push this up there. Olawale will probably come off in a moment. I know he's on 2 goals. So if we can give him a chance to get that hat-trick, that would be nice. But we will use up all our stoppages. And he is tired. So on comes Larson. Is it Dahlstrom on to see out the last few moments? We don't have a... We've used up our substitution on the flanks. There we go. So it's Dewey as well for the... Actually, no. We just need to... We're just going to bring off Olawale into the last seconds. There's 3 minutes of injury time left to go. Haven't managed a shot in these last 10 minutes. That is one hell of a game. Why did they sub off their striker at half time? He'd scored 2 goals. Was he injured? No sign of injury. Then that own goal. I can't celebrate because of that own goal. That own goal has ruined me. This is truly... Can we, if we take reversed off first and then we go behind goal, can we get the... Yes. I love the far camera views that you can occasionally get. Oh no, it's not. There we go. How does Reitinen still have a 6-6? He dropped down to a 6-4. Was it a 6-5 in the end? That's just one of those free cone goals, isn't it? It's one of those free cone goals. But Schultz could have got that to that, I think yeah, possibly. I don't want to apportion blame, really. I don't want to apportion blame, because what I really want to do is feel good about the fact that we've beaten Ilves in a crazy 4-3 win away from home. And the best way to do that is something like this. Oh, that feels good. That feels good. That has got to be us having turned a corner by now, right? That has got to be the end of our hoodoo. I know it's another cup game, and cup games don't matter for much. We're still at 8th. We're still in 8th. But my word, we finally have a result against a big team, and we've done it in some kind of style. Now, talking about some kind of style, I think you guys probably already know who Tony Jameson is, but go and give that man some love. Hit that lovely, lovely heart button. If you don't follow him already, you really, really should be. A heartbreaking end to Season 5 in South Africa last year, where in a title battle on the last day, they fell just short, meaning that, actually, you are in the African Champions League, but a real kick in the teeth at the last moment. Some fabulous stream to watch. Really, really fun, really exciting, lots of jokes. Wonderful stuff. So do definitely go and give him a follow. Because he says Musterman does whatever a Musterman does. Can he see attributes? No, he can't, because he don't use attributes. Look out. He is a Musterman. Beautiful stuff. So look, Marno Pants, can I share a link to a video of a very similar own goal in real life? Of course you can. I mean, look, Marno Pants, I recommend heading into the Discord. There's a stream chat section there, which also means that people can access it like basically at any time as well. So those that don't want to click on the link during the stream, is it the Spain one from the Euros? Was it the Euros or was it the World Cup? So tied on points too, I think. Quite possibly. Let's have a look. There we go. Tied on points with Ulus. That win, if only we'd won by more. If we hadn't lost a game 5-1, we'd be equal on. If that had just been a 2-1 defeat, we would have been equal on points and been ahead of them on a goal scored, a single goal scored. Let's remember to rest the players. I always forget to do things. Training, rest, one day. There we go. So Tony says it was indeed absolute narrative. So what have I missed there? So Bell's back. How did studying going, Bell? Good to have you back. Or is it? Or should you be asleep because you've got an exam tomorrow? Not that I want to sound like your parent, but you know. So right on his. Indeed, it was tied on points. Yes, against their rivals. It was truly heartbreaking. Danny says, evening. Good evening, Danny. How are you doing? And Tyreek George fan, by the way, thank you very much for the follow. I do apologise if I'm a little bit behind. If you feel comfortable chatting, let us know who you support. Let us know who you're playing with as FM as well, but only if you want to. Obviously, zero obligation whatsoever. Right, our next game is against TPS. They are currently... They're no longer bottom. They were the newly promoted side, weren't they? So we're playing them as they've hit a little bit of form in the last two games there. A 2-0 win away against Inter, a 1-0 win away against from VPS. Was it VPS with the new team who got promoted last season? No, it was TPS. This is going to get so confusing over the course of this. So TPS are a team who've yo-yoed about. Promoted, relegated. Stayed in the Ekenas. Oh yes, because as Jonsa had told us before this save started, before this season, they restructured everything. So the Ekenas used to be the second division, and that's why the league history thing is all weird like that. Okay. Ilves is one of my favourite Finnish badges. Tony, you are a man of fine taste. We have been talking about that Lynx badge at pretty much every single opportunity because we get to play them a lot and it is sensational. I mean, truly, who designed, like, it's so Midsummer or Wicker Man. It really feels like some old folk story horror character. Beautiful thing. So Levi says against their... Oh, right, yep, you're still there. So Danny is currently managing Kappa in Finland, following a discussion on stream last week sometime about the youth in Finland. Indeed, I do remember. How's it going? Tyreek is Almasi fan, but on a different device. Well, welcome back in then on a different. I will try my best to refer to you as Ladislav Almasi fan from here on anyway. You had a save at ROPS a few years back. Love managing in Finland. I'm such a big fan, especially with the structure now. The short seasons, the multiple cups. I really like it. So when I saw Tony Jameson moved on to season 6 and it still said South Africa, I just thought, oh yeah, let's as he says, just wait till season 10 still in South Africa. It's not a Pentagon. It's not a Pentagon. It's a build a nation, just you don't know it yet. Dill 40k is back in. He's just popping in just before you head on to stream, I imagine, Dill. So Swarman Man Cup more like. Indeed. Bell has said, have you ever thought of doing a Moneyball clinic with Italian teams, like old giants that have fallen, for example, Torino or Genoa, that 10 years ago was reaching European football? So there was always an intention to do teams in Italy as well. Look at what we could have had. Mark Condes is considering a move to Denmark. Well, a move home. So yeah, with regards to Italian teams, certainly there are plans to do some. Probably going to be either one of those teams that are in Serie B that should be pushing to get back and reinstating, or a team that underperforms. There's a couple of options there, but nothing's been moved towards that yet. Right, so we've got a break coming up. It's going to be the same old, which is I'll be disappearing for about 3 minutes. Then we're going to come back. We'll probably play a couple more games this evening. So we've got a bit there. I'd really like us to get up to around the 14, 15 game mark if we can before the end of this stream. Catch up a little bit on the cancelled stream from Saturday night. Right, I will see you in about 3 minutes. There's the link. And we're back. But hey, so is it a Musterman piss break? It is most definitely a Musterman piss break, a Musterman refill his drink break, and a Musterman stand up and make sure that you've still got blood flowing through your legs break. That's how we run things here. Is during the ad breaks, as I get the notification, I'm like, okay, I should probably stand up. Needs must a man. Beautiful, and that's why you're a comedian. So Adam won't tolerate some shambosh slander. I'm sorry, but he kind of, we could have had Marcondes Benz. Like, didn't you enjoy my wonderful rendition of I can't even say Janis Joplin. I mean, that was the kind of thing you'd want to hear every single day, surely. Oh Lord, won't you buy me a Marcondes Benz? My friends all have Porsches, I must make amends. I'll stop it there. Are we forgetting the free kick he just scored? He's done what? He's scored like 6-7 goals for us. Have we also forgot that weird moment where, with an opportunity to shoot, he didn't just pass it backwards? Like, passing backwards would be so fine. It was the fact that he passed it all the way back to a defender from inside the box. with the ball on his stronger foot and an angle to shoot clearly. The man's a maverick. You can't tame that. That's fair. Right, Adam, we are out of Guess the Players, I'm afraid. I was trying to work out briefly in that break how to refund you the points. I don't know how. I'm going to have to look that up afterwards. So there will be 1,000 points coming back to you at some point as we head into the game against TPS. So Dill has said that he's thinking of going back to the Philippines save for FM25, but purely on Filipino recruitment. In the Bundesliga, no exceptions. No exceptions. That's going to be tough. That does sound like a great idea. Mustermann sings the national anthem at the Cleveland Browns game. Who says no? Mustermann definitely does. Obviously, I've only been to one Cleveland's Brown game. It was at the was it Wembley or was it at Twickenham? I can't remember whether it's Wembley or Twickenham. All I remember is that Joe Thomas, who was drafted the year that I started supporting them, ended up injured, playing 10,363 consecutive snaps, and then was injured the week before the London game. And so the player I'm most associated with the team, the one who was drafted in the first round, the first year I started supporting them, was the one player I wanted to see and wasn't able to happen. A real shame. Right, so we need to make our... They've done well, but we are going to bring those changes back in. Reitinen keeps his place as our star defender. Lasse Schultz keeps his place because we're not putting a 16-year-old in goal. Sleiman keeps his place. Olawale scored twice. That means he probably keeps his place. Shambost keeps his place. I think that's what we go with. Let's have a look at what they're doing. They're doing a 4-3-3. I feel okay with that. It's an away game though. It seems like we've had a lot of away games. Oh, that streak was insane. It was absolutely incredible. But what was I saying? Yes, so we had the game, and obviously we had the British national anthem, we had the American national anthem, and I actually had a gentleman try and forcibly make me stand up for the anthems. I'm such a rebel, you see. So I don't think my attitude, generally speaking, towards the anthems would result in anything good. It'll be like Roseanne Barr, which is a classic. That Roseanne Barr at the baseball anthem is one hell of an attempt. Here's Savalainen and crosses it in. Shambost makes it 1-0, only 7 minutes in. We have turned things around. And this definitely isn't going to be hubris where we then fall apart. Shambosch's literal sponsor is delighted here. It's a lovely little crossing from Savalainen. Shambost gets there right on time. Nice finish there. Just ahead of Olawale. We do need to go back to an angle that we can actually see everything. We're going to win the fucking league at DMB. We are. Isn't it nice to finally be able to say that? Or are we? Here's Saraviki. Plays back to Boama. Saraviki again. Sarakivi even. Play it back to Carlson. Carlson Sager on the edge of the area. What a lovely strike from Seger. Bob Seger with a great strike from the edge of the area. In off the post. You saw it coming a mile off. Once he was down here, he cuts inside. And there's just one pass, second pass over. No one really gets out to close him. That's a beautiful, sweet strike from Seger. Maybe. Fucking boo. Exactly. There we go. Adam says, I don't care about the points. Use it as a down payment for next stream. Marvellous. I still should probably work out how to do that though, so I'll be doing that anyway, to at least learning. So it's one shot, one goal so far for TPS. It's a familiar story, but we've not been as wasteful as before. So we're 50% possession, 5 shots. XG is kind of similar. So they've had a big... Actually, if the XG is kind of similar, they've had a big chance that just hasn't been shown. Dahlstrom across to Machado. Can he play to Savalainen? He can indeed. Savalainen gets it out from underneath his feet. Plays it inside. Here's Dahlstrom. Dahlstrom in a great position. Dahlstrom forces the save. Oh! It's Will Jääskeläinen, isn't it? Yes, we've had generally good joy against Jääskeläinen. Well, from what I remember, he's really good at saving and then does something very stupid, like drop the ball at the striker's feet. And so we just need to keep them under pressure. this isn't keeping them under pressure. Here's Nilsson. Nilsson with a cross, it's early. Lepisto with a header straight at Schultz. Into the last minute of the first half here. Schultz drops the ball at his feet, sends it long. Olawale's in behind. It's a shocking defensive error. It's also a shocking finish. Right, so we've won in terms of possession. Low Opta. Just want to see the pass map here. We're kind of reasonably balanced there. I mean, it looks like a back four. Borstrom. Ekenas is the ball-winning midfielder, is almost only receiving the ball very, very deep areas. We've got a lot of players close together here. Shambost. Jimmy Slayman is quite isolated as a result. Why is he's not receiving the ball much, that's why. So, let's say some positive stuff. They did expect to draw before the game. Savalainen's tired. Enquist is booked. That's marvellous. Both fullbacks there, which means we might not be able to sub both of them. Going to look to build up out from defence once again. Going to look to be more expressive. We're going to build out defence, but we're going to play higher tempo. And we are going to make that change. Like, we don't want a red card to spoil our day. I think we should be good to go with that. Charlo, I have faith. That was a 0.14 XG chance, was it now? My word. Will Jaskelainen used to play for my local club. Interesting. Which one's that? Raphael Silver's in at YouTube. Hi mate, how are you going? I'm doing well. How are you, my dude? Thank you very much for popping in. Alright, we've not really done anything. Those changes haven't helped us at all. Drop this down. And we're going to bring on Lundberg. Lundberg will get his chance to maybe get back into scoring form. Nope, we are doing absolutely nothing in terms of creation since then. Lepisto from distance. Schultz turns it round the corner. Lixmaduvs. Thank you very much for the follow. How are you? Nadaslav, our massive fan, says Woking. He might still play there, but I don't follow too closely. So he is in real life back in Finland. So let's have a look here. Lots of players are tired. We do that. We will do the double change in midfield. We're doing this here. Take that off because we'll go attacking. Because we're going attacking, we're going to play much more direct. We're going to send it to the target man. Let's get the ball up as early as we possibly can. Let's swap these guys around as well. So Juhi is now going to be asked to attack the space. We really, really want to win here. Really, really want to win. That's our change. Ooh, we need a winning goal. I'm going to say it to all of you. I want all of you to impact the last few minutes. Of course, going attacking means no more chances for the remainder of the game. That very much seems to be the way. A last shout. And there we go. Nothing to happen. A poor second half. A poor second half indeed. That's still a point is better than dropping points. So I'll take that indeed. So Rafael says Vitor Pereira was a disaster in Brazil. He managed a little bit well in Corinthians, but in Flamengo, what a disaster. Oh dear. So Lixmadiv, sorry, might be a dumb question. Can you use your skin with stats enabled or all stats removed permanently? I assume by stats you mean attributes. There are no attributes. That is why it's called iconic. Instead of attributes, you have icons. So yeah, naturally, the skin that is described as being non-attribute is non-attributes, I'm afraid. Not even an end game highlight. Not at all. It was a poor end to the game. Disappointing. Disappointing, I think, would probably be the fairest talk. But There we go. We stay in 8th. Have Turku moved down a spot? Turku can't have moved down a spot. That makes absolutely no sense. Because if we drew, and if, let's say, Oulu won, did Oulu win? Oulu won. So Oulu and us were both on 14 points. Turku were on 13 already. Yeah. It's not really important at all, just confused. Right, let's give people a rest, and we finally have a home game. A home game against Ekenas, who we beat earlier on in the season. That was our first league game of the season. We won 3-1 with a late goal from Adam Larson to... well, it was another game where we took a 2-0 lead, and then it got a little bit nervy towards the end. That, by the way, that doesn't mean nervy, but I'm going to pretend that this is the international hand gesture for nervy. Yeah, so we started really well. Otherwise, though, we kind of tailed off. I know it's a bad idea to switch unnecessarily, but I think we're going to push to the diamond for the next game. I think that there's a little bit more to the diamond that could actually be quite useful. But I didn't want to play it again away from home or against Ilves. So Ekenas are a good team. They're currently in 4th. It's probably a little bit risky in that respect, especially if they're going to be playing with... well, all the teams play a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1, so we always have to be wary of the threat out wide. So I'm confused, but now we're down to 9th. So Lixman says, thank you for answering. Absolutely love the way the skin looks. Just never played FM without seeing attributes before. Any tips on starting to play like that? Yes, just take your time. Break it down step by step. By all means, like if you head on over to the YouTube, you can see basically any of the videos I've done there. The Pauk series might be a good idea on how we assess the squad. Any of the Moneyball Clinic is really a good idea on how you look at using data rather than attributes to assess a player. Our plans to use the formation with 4 midfielders might have taken a hit with us losing a midfielder. Robin Sid is back. Scotland is back. They're all attacking midfielders. Shambos can play deeper. Can't tackle for Toffee though. So here's what I'm thinking. It's always, as I said before, it's always a bad idea to think, just generally speaking, is that we would go with Dahlstrom. We'll bring Skoglund back in. We'll have Shambost on the left as a Carolero. We will restore Lundberg. We're dropping Olawale after missing some big chances in that last game. So Reitman would come in for Machado. Machado means that Queekman drops to the bench. Ikerike is there because he's a midfielder. Sid comes in on the top there. So that's potentially the thoughts. So Sam JG over on YouTube has said, what things do you change in game when you're losing or winning? I'm struggling to know what to do or press when I'm losing or winning. Trial and error. So we found that, generally speaking, we try and look at what there is happening in the game and react accordingly. So a couple of games ago, we saw that we had a lot of possession but weren't creating chances, so we added be more expressive. Sometimes we see that we're stuck with the ball in deep areas, so we might increase the tempo or the directness. We might turn on or turn off things like play out of defence, but it's ultimately trial and error. You learn and you build from what's happened in previous occasions. Work out what helps you in certain situations. For us, we're painfully inconsistent, so my learning extends to press a load of things and hope. Rafa likes the skin, very simple and beautiful. Thank you very much. RJ, stop thinking about numbers, more about excellent, good, average, bad for the attributes. Exactly. I mean, if numbers are important, think of it as 1, 2, 3, 4. So DM Basis has said, look, I'm doing it now, and whilst it's a difficult challenge to begin with, it's really quite rewarding and a refreshing way to play. Instead of getting bogged down with the whole min-maxing of attributes or just filling your entire youth team with every young wonder kid prospect you can find. That's good. So does anyone follow the Basketball Euro League? I don't, I must confess. I should, but I don't. So makes sense, guys. Thanks for the help. We'll check out the YouTube for tips. Marvellous. SamXG. I see that you've also followed over on Twitch. I assume you've moved over to Twitch now. Good afternoon, sir. Good evening even. I hope you're doing well. Right, here we go. Heading into the game against Ekenas with the 4-4-2. Enjoy a fresh start in FM. Like, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like there are so many different ways you can play FM, which is absolutely marvelous. But sometimes it just helps to have something that does it a little bit different, a little bit of a different challenge out there for you. So this could mark Robin Sid's return. Reekkonen is how far away? He's still 2 weeks away. So we've got defender, we've got defensive midfielder, we've got slightly more advanced midfielder, attacking midfielder, striker. Forsström is in the starting lineup, so we can bring Machado on and push Forsström out wide. We could potentially play Forsström on the right there, but we are short of fullbacks. Skoglund, yeah, we know that Skoglund's not in great shape, but I think that would be cool. So that's worked in the past, not as effective this time round, but a round of I have faith. Some nice words to you as well. Let's see how we get on. Right, Samu says your tips are a lot of help, thank you. Marvellous to hear. RJ, Sid is still around, I'm shocked. Well, yeah, so he had a great start, and we thought that he was going to probably play out most of the season, even whilst transfer listed. Here's FM off. FM off has so much space, but thankfully shoots straight at the keeper. We are very, very fortunate there. That being only a 0.12 XG chance is robbery. He was clean through on goal. Savalainen tries to get past his man, can't, so plays it inside. Larson turns. He's doing a shambost. He's in the box, and he's passing it out of the box unnecessarily. Results in a shot for Enquist, pushed away. Pretty easy save. I think the keeper's going to be disappointed with conceding a corner there. And then obviously Sid got injured for 4 months, so even if we could have sold him, he's been out, and we've had no option to do so. So why a Finland save? So Raphael, I've been to Mariehamn. It's a lovely place. The save was voted on by viewers and by people in the Discord and people on YouTube. So we put it out to vote. There was a couple of options. There was this here in Mariehamn as an option where we offer every player earn highest earner clause. Oh no. Come on. That's poor. Right, do you know how long this tactical change lasted? Not very long at all. And now, because of that lineup, okay, it's going to last the rest of the half at least. Let's keep the ball a little bit. Let's just try and get some control back in the last 10 minutes, and then we'll make our substitutions at halftime. This is shocking. What is Schultz doing? And then there's 2 men over. No one goes back to challenge whatsoever. A nice easy header into a virtually empty net. And so those changes seem to have at least done a little bit there. We're going to demand more into the last 10 minutes. I vote for Moneyball AC 2.0 because I vote Payne. Exactly. So the other option was to do what we'd done before, which had gone very badly, but to learn from it and make some improvements. So Danny says playing FM with data and using the Mustermann skin is the most refreshing thing I've ever done with FM. Marvellous to hear. Oh, and you've been asked what leagues do you play with? Cool. So you've done Poland, now currently doing a save in Finland, after a discussion that we had a couple of days ago about youth setups. So ACAB, what was the idea behind your theme? I mean, what made you say, what if I don't have any attributes but only statistics? I've played this game for 30 years, pretty much, so sometimes you need to add some extra challenge. I feel like attributes are a bit too granular. So that's essentially where that comes from. Some Sebastian Star attribute skin had done something similar. I took that as the base to kind of do something the same. Right. We have got better since those changes. Actually, we've been pretty even all the way through in terms of creating chance every few minutes, but not of great quality. So show me something else. Skoglund is the first casualty. That'll be Shambos pushing up. And that's Machado back in there. Dahlstrom's on a yellow card. That's not really great. Lundberg and Larsen. Lundberg should have been a target for... He was a target for in the other system. That's okay. So the change. I don't want to say have some fun. So I'm saying I have faith. He's reacted okay to that. All these players are nervous against playing against the team that they really, really should be okay. I know that Ekenas are fourth, but we're meant to be... We're predicted this season to do a lot better. Shambos with a free kick from distance. Can he recreate what he did last week? No. No, he can't. Corner this time. Here's Dahlstrom. Sends it into the near post. Lundberg gets there. That's 1-1. That'll do nicely. Lundberg is back on the score sheet. Granted, it's from a free kick, but that's what he's in there, a corner even. He's in there to do. Get his big old meaty head on the ball. In at the near post. Poor timing, but I need to dash. Catch you later, everyone. Thank you very much for coming along, Adam. Lovely to have you in. Right, let's demand more. I kind of wanted to fire up, but I'm scared of Dahlstrom getting a yellow card. Right, Lexel. Efimov gets it back again, cross the far post. We get it clear, but not far enough. Here's Malindama. Malindama will play it inside to Lindholm. Shambos gets his challenge in. What was that? What was that, Forstrom? Okay, Forstrom with one bad clearance. Is he about to get himself subbed off here? Okay, if he made another mistake there, I probably would have been bringing him off. But here's Wright and into Dahlstrom. He finds Savalainen. Savalainen can play it down the line for Larsen. Larsen's got down the side of the defender, takes a shot from the angle, pushed over by Lahu. Here come the changes. So, Dahlstrom, you know how I am with yellow cards. On comes Yuhi. Larsen will be replaced by Olawale. He did okay there, but a little bit more pace, a little bit more directness. He could have probably had an easier shot as well. I do like most of our play seems to be coming down the right, so let's try and push that a little bit more if we can. Shuhi is fine. Olawale, I want to say, try to score the winning goal. There we go. Is that going to kill momentum? 15 shots, 0.86 XG is pretty awful, to be fair. Shambars crosses it to the far post. Machado! Pedro Machado, who ended our 6-game winless streak at the end of the last save, comes up with a late header. Shambos with his second... No, he didn't take the earlier free kick. Shambos with the assist, though. It's a lovely header at the far post. We have turned it around. Now Savalainen is tired. I don't really have someone. Probably the best bet is to bring a Kurake in there. Swing Yuhi out wide. Hope that does enough. And then we will just up the time wasting before our next substitution. Right, Malindama back to Laiho. Campo on the ball now. Finds Rogic. Rogic with the ball over the top. It doesn't go anywhere at all. Well, it does go somewhere. It goes straight into the hands of Schultz. This feels like something tragic is about to happen. Schultz sends it long. Shambos cross doesn't do anything with it. Here's Lexel though. Able to go back. Lindholm plays it into Ajar. That's a lovely touch. Lindholm with a great touch as well. Shoots over the bar. Come on, guys. Pay attention. It's another highlight immediately after. But this one, it looks like it's for us. Shambos in behind. Shambos plays it to Yuhi. Yuhi crosses to the far post and Lundberg. Oh, that is a relief. That is a relief. Lundberg at the far post, heading it in from the Juhi cross. Shambos did well here, ran into the channel, saw that he couldn't beat his man, played it back to Juhi. Acres of space. Cross into the far post. He's 6'3" as Lundberg. He's 6'3". You're not stopping him. You're not stopping him. And there we go, into the last few minutes, and this will be the return of Robin Sid. Because here's to you, Mr. Robin Sid. Well done on making your 200th appearance for Mariehamn. And to be fair, our chance creation was really bad. 1.37 XG from 19. Shots isn't great, but they didn't create much. They took a lead and we came back. And when we came back, you know what it is. Murph has already got things going right, because absolutely. Oh, my arms are so tired. My arms are so tired, but I don't care. What a marvellous, marvellous moment. We are back. Now, I know I said that before the last game where we then drew away against the team arguably worse than us, but we are back. We are 100% back. And it should be pointed out that the first person in with the GIF was the wonderful, the excellent MustermannFM, and you should most definitely go and check out Murph if you don't. And to say, I think the best way that I can express how enjoyable Murph's streams are is that I'm shouting him out despite him being a Birmingham City fan. Which I think kind of does tell you everything you need to know. Now, because I'm feeling in a good mood, we've just won a game, I do want to reveal that Murph is part of the match of the delay lot, and I do have a special tactic specifically for Murph, which was based around his love of Birmingham City. And let's have a look at it here. Match of the delay. And it'll be this one here. It's designed around the poo emoji. I'm very, very disappointed it hasn't seen the light of day. You can see like it bounces in there and then it bounces in there, and they're slightly offset to the right. Oh no, I feel bad now because just as you say, the respect goes above our teams. It was obviously meant in kindness. So I see people are helping Lixmaduvs. I do apologise. I'm sure it should probably be pronounced a way that I'm getting very, very wrong right now. Thank you very much, guys, for helping. And indeed, you've got FAQ anywhere you choose to download it, whether that's FM Scout or the SI forums or Sort It Out Susie. They all have readmes there as well. There's readme files, there's FAQs. Most of the things you want answered will be there. Jump in the Discord as well. So, you know, if you pop on into the Discord, you'll be able to ask questions there should any arise. So I'm just trying to see where we're going there. I'd love to have witnessed you poo. Oh, it would have been your poo, just to be clear. I would love to have witnessed your poo, you said, not what witnessed me poo. Like, you're welcome to, darling. But that is usually quite a tender moment. Is it tender? No, actually, I'm getting old, so it's definitely not tender. It's stubborn would be a better term. We started tonight's stream talking about granny shagging, and now I'm talking about poo. This has definitely been a highbrow viewing experience for most. Right, well, next game is against Cluby 04. Quarterfinals of the Swarman Cup. We've just beaten Ilves in the cup. So you would think that a game against lower league opponents is going to be really, really easy for us, right? Do we persist with the diamond? I think the diamond can work. It's basically the same tactical settings, shorter, slightly higher, fairly narrow, counter press only, and then a mid block with a higher defensive line. trapping inside because, well, we don't want to push them outside, do we? So let's see. The changes, we will stick with that. Shambos did okay. Skoglund came off at half time because it's a little bit rubbish, but it is a cup game, and I don't care if we get knocked out of the cup really. Wrighton, in fact, is going to be dropped entirely, just to give him some rest. Shuhi will come in for Shambost, Okereke in for Foncel. Does Queeton come in? Do we go with a partnership actually? So we go with a Machado Queeton partnership. We bring Forstrom onto the base of the midfield, and possibly we give another one of the central midfielders a bit of rest, and we play Foncel higher. Oh no! Ian Pervader snubs Woking. We should probably remove him from the shortlist. That's the word I'm looking for. Shortlist. So Tatsugiri asks when it's the Alashkert game. It's a little while away. We've got it on the 10th of July. So when the transfer window opens, we don't have any money to line up a transfer ahead of time, unfortunately. But yeah, not too far away now. Not too far away at all. In fact, just over a week away. A nice home game first. I hate having the home game first because you know how we've struggled when we've been 2-0 down 2-0 up at half time. I find that a 2-0 win at home in the first leg of a cup is the worst possible result that has ever existed. That's like when you're guaranteed to lose the second leg like 7-4 or something painful and crazy high scoring as the opposition just go all out attack all 90 minutes. So Klubi are in the Ekenas. That's the third division. They are doing quite well in third. So getting some juicy momentum for it then. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how we like if we can just get through one round, the money that we'll get from one round should actually be looked up really. How much money do we get for a single round? Do we get any? We get 85k for a single round. That's significant. Like that is what? 1.5k per week. That is the issue with our that would solve our wage budget. Obviously we don't get it all at once, but so then the second round is also 85. But you get 300. Oh, if we win, we get 300k. Lose a prize money. Okay, actually, so is that 129 plus 85? Is that 200k? That's incredible. Yeah, if we could get two into the second round, that would be 500, potentially 500k altogether. That is transformative for this club. That'd be crazy. RJ says even 4-0 is not safe. It really isn't. Also, if it goes to extra time, then it favours the team at home second. Absolutely. Any PSG fans around? Yes, exactly. So Lick says, oh my god, just loaded up the skin and my head is fried. This will take a lot of time to get used to, but it looks so clean. So yes, 100%. As I said, take your time. Take it. Don't just take it in small chunks. And yeah, what Crabluxon says, it will take some getting used to. Maxi Taxi is in over on YouTube. Good evening, Maxi Taxi. How are you, sir? How are you? And Crablux says, persist. Listen to the man. He knows what he's talking about. Ooh, interesting. We're up against a front two. They don't have any attacking midfielders, though. Could we? There might be, we'll see how it goes. There might be a chance that we give the guy at the base midfield a much more attacking mentality, because we can really that should be really solid, right? But we can really overload the centre with our 4 to their 3. we've got players in between the gaps of the defenders. So with them not having an attacking midfielder, I think we could possibly get away with pushing Dahlstrom deeper as a playmaker and having someone more attacking a bit further forwards. Of course, I say that. What will happen is we'll go 3-0 down inside 15 minutes. Oh, is it white against yellow? Interesting colour choices. So, hands on hips. We've been on a good run lately. They don't like it when I veer from the path of talking about the media. Here we go. This is a chance. We can let's make it 2 wins in a row. Ooh. As the DM basis says, absolutely, you'll not want to go back to attributes when this starts to click. Trust me, when you find your first data-driven 7K Jamaican gem, oh my word! Oh my word! For the Spanish Second Division, you won't look back. That's a fair shout. What a block on the line. What's going to be? That's got to be a behind goal view, right? Is it? Incredible stuff. Oh my. Forsstrom. I mean, that Forsstrom wasn't already running away celebrating. Is absolutely crazy. Shocking miss. I mean, he had the whole goal, but what a block. What a block. Anyway, off to bed. Thanks for the stream. Good night all. Thank you very much for being along, RJ. I hope you have a lovely evening. Tatsugi says, do you think FM will eventually move to an attributeless way? No. Their biggest thing, the database is their main proprietary asset. Essentially hiding that and obscuring that wouldn't really make much sense for them. Now, could they potentially include it as an option? Maybe, but I think that showcasing their database as much as possible is going to be a key part of their product, I think. So, yep, Danny says take your time as well. Lick says I need to work out what good data means. So, for example, a centre back, what is good for possession 1, headers 1. So that's partly what those pizza charts do for you. They will ultimately tell you what is good because they'll be big slices. So look at players that you know, that you're familiar with, see what areas they perform well in, and you've got a really good reference point. We're losing. We are losing to 3rd Division Ekenas. It's been all us so far, but a corner is what's given us the win in the last game, so I can't complain too much. Fra Jensen's header at Schultz, he just couldn't get a strong enough hand on it. There's a, can we respond immediately? There's a highlight straight away. Machado on the ball, playing it to Juhi. So Crablungs reckons it's more realistic. I think FM realises that attributes are very unrealistic. I mean, yes and no. There's a penalty. This is nice. We haven't had many of these. Who takes it? Is it going to be Skoglund? He scored one before. It is Skoglund, and that's 1-1. We have restored things immediately. May have got a little bit fortunate there. It's more realistic because players don't walk around with attributes attached to them, true, but people do have at least opinions on their abilities at certain actions. It's a bit of a weird one. Because players, they do have attributes, but they're not so clearly defined. Right, can we go in ahead before the break? Here's you. He crosses it in. Lundberg he did have a good match up there, but it's okay because Daniel Enquist slots it away. 2-1. 2-1 is very, very nice. We've turned things around. I thought we were going to have to revert back like immediately. Enquist, so much space. Lovely finish past the keeper. That'll do nicely. Forsstrom is struggling as a defensive midfielder apparently. Dahlstrom with the cross to the far post, but actually they get it clear. Skoglund now beats his man, cuts back inside. Here's Juhi. Juhi also passes it back. Savalainen across to Enquist to make it 3. Not quite happening. Why do we refuse to cross it so so actively. Like, there is a very, very distinct effort to not cross whatsoever. Let's encourage these guys to cross more often. And especially, like, when our trequartista runs into those positions, I want him to get those crosses in. Borstrom not having a great time of things. That's okay, though. We'll give him a little bit of time before subbing him off for probably Fonsell. No, we won't give it much time. We'll bring Fonsell on at half-time, in fact. Do we give Sid a whole 45 minutes in his return from injury? Right, have some fun. I want you to perform. Here we go. I need to go attributes at some stage. Absolutely you do. I mean, don't. I mean, if it's something that you want to do it. But also, Football Manager is meant to be about fun. It's about whether you would enjoy the challenge that comes with it or whether you don't. And never any point in forcing something because you're around a community that's encouraging you to, if that makes sense. I remember trying attributeless the very first time. I lasted 2 months in game because just I felt a bit too lost. And then it took me 2 years before I tried it again. Right, what changes do we want to make here? The fullbacks are looking tired. So we know we can push Machado out wide. Can't really do the same with Kuitanen. Yeah, actually, okay, so Fonsell. Enquist is looking tired as well, so Fonsell will come off. No, Fonsell will move to left back. Akerake will come on. Slayman is not does not have any pace. But let's try a crazy target forward poacher strike combination with players that aren't necessarily a threat in behind whatsoever. And then if that really, really goes wrong, we can bring Olawale on. I mean, it's a third division team, and that's why the momentum has been like that. As soon as we say that, we can see a fleeting moment. Last change will it be Olawale or will it be Shambosh? It's going to be Olawale on as a right back. Right back Olawale. It's what you need. I think it's So Ladislav asks, when was Adam Larsson's last goal? It was only a couple of games ago, really. I think probably. Right, well done. That was a good win. I mean, it's okay. We are through to the semi-finals once again. That is, we have the possibility of doing a cup double this year. Who would have thought that? Fortunately, it does skip forward again. So we've got things here, and Larsson's goal was, if we look through on his form here, so 2 key passes, 1 key pass, just played 7 minutes against TPS, didn't score against Ilves, played 1 minute against Ilves, and the game, if we look at this, he started against Ekenas, didn't score, started against Klubi, didn't score. It was the start before that against Ulu where he scored and he set up a goal. Right, that, by the way, I think is probably the perfect time to call it for the evening. For a couple of reasons. One, the next set of ads are going to be coming up in a couple of moments. So let's not go through another thing to then end the stream immediately. But also, the voice is starting to go a little bit. So let's do the standard thing. We'll be ending on YouTube first. Yep, I am going to hydrate again. So first, YouTube, thank you very much for coming along. It's been absolutely wonderful. If you would like to, if you've enjoyed the stream, please consider liking, subscribing if you're not already. We're going to be back tomorrow evening, exactly the same time, so 7 p.m. I'd love to see you all there. I end here because we're then going to raid out over on Twitch, so we'll do that as a separate thing.